Yeah.
Yep, and we are here. We
What's
are
up?
here. Got our disclaimer for everybody. Apologize for anybody who's tuning in and not catching us right away. That was on me. I delayed. Apologize. We didn't have our 9:05 start time.
Hey, it be like that.
Things was happening.
Things was thinging.
Things was hanging, and I was trying to catch up. That's, so,
Things been thinging all week, man. I'm telling
man, it has been
you.
crazy. So,
Oh shit,
welcome
Jeff.
to welcome, yeah. Welcome to Weigh In Wednesdays. I am your host, Sam. Joining me tonight, we got Jeffrey JPNT17 on Instagram. Be sure to check out all his fly merch. He's got some great sales. I see some of your stuff moving, man. I see some of your stuff moving. I like that.
Appreciate that.
I like that. I was checking out the new hoodies. The new hoodies you got. What was it? Oh, I just looked at it the other day. I know some of your sketches. You got some new sketches up. I was checking that out. But who had
Yeah.
that hoodie on? I saw your Dominique shirt, and it'll come to me. I'm gonna pull up Instagram here in a minute and find it. David Northup joining us again. South Down
What's going on?
Leatherworks. You all be sure to check him out on Instagram. That hat he's got on, he probably made it. He's a
Yes,
leathersmith,
I did.
and I know he's got some wallets right now. Some wallets for sale. They're running. Got a few of those. Yeah, grab one or two of those.
Only one?
Said one or two. One or two.
Well, that's probably all he has left because these are handcrafted, custom leather wallets. I've got a cigarette lighter case. I've got a Zippo. Okay, he's got a couple of them there. So
There you go.
yeah, got a few over there, and those are going what, $15 a pop.
More than one or two.
And that is my custom lighter case. That is beautiful, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. And Hat Man taking over the streaming circuit, doing the fighting games. Also, kind of blowing up on TikTok. I'm checking you out.
Doing a little bit. I'm doing numbers over there.
Doing a little bit over there. I'm liking that.
Speaking of TikTok, I got an announcement for later. So,
All right, we'll make sure you get that in. Don't forget it.
yes,
And
sir.
I'm me. Y'all know I just like to be here talking. That's what I do. I got a chance to watch some stuff today. Work has been kicking my butt, but I did get caught up on everything. Only thing I haven't caught up on is the latest episode of Miss Marvel that dropped today. So I got to check out episode 3.
I haven't watched nothing this week.
Jeff, I really think you would enjoy Miss Marvel.
Oh no! I haven't watched the newest episode. I've watched 1 and 2. I love Miss Marvel. She's like one of my favorite.
I'm an episode behind on that.
Yeah, well, the newest episode just dropped, so they've now got
I need
got
to
3
get on
out.
that.
And I got a little bit more clarity on Stranger Things. I'm happy that I got the chance to see that trailer because at first I was a little confused and I was really kind of puzzled when I finished that. I was like, wait, what?
I haven't watched Stranger Things since season 2.
So y'all got it on the Stranger Things. I know nothing.
It is. Well, I will avoid.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
I'm like, if I watch it, I watch it. I'm not gonna. I'm good. Whatever you say. Honestly,
I think it's one of those franchises for me that I want it so badly for it to just be like anthology, like going from like town to town and telling like these different weird ass stories instead of it just being like
this one
now
place
these
Hawkins.
kids are all it's like these same kids. Like watching kids grow up on TV, it doesn't always go
weird.
well.
It can be a little weird, yeah. And
like puberty can be, unforgiving. Especially if people are moving at like different paces and different speeds.
yeah,
true. I mean, they've done a decent job. They put them in high school and they got them coming in as freshmen in high school. And
I think they're just
he
like,
mute himself.
I feel like they got so hooked on 11, and I was just like, well, she was cool, but like, can we tell a different story? But it was.
There you go.
They did with her the same thing Star Wars did with Daisy Ridley.
with Ray, yeah.
Whereas like as soon as it became clear that this is like a big like cultural moment for like women and girls, it's like they just leaned all the way into that. Understandably so. But I don't know if that has to always be done at the like expense of other interesting stories as well, you know?
I'm still
I
so
could
pissed
see that.
I'm still so pissed how they hold Rose. They hold Rose out so bad. I'm so mad.
You know, with
They didn't even mention her by name in the last movie. Come on, they didn't even say her name once. Come on, bro.
yeah.
I'm so mad.
They put her in a tough spot anyway though, because they tried to like pawn off the like, okay, movie one is all Finn and Ray. Like you feel it, I feel it, they feel it, everybody feels it. But as soon as it becomes like a moment about women, I think that there was a contingency of people who were like, this should not be focused on her trying to get a man. Like, let's just have her focus
that's
on
facts.
figuring out her own identity. But then it's also like there's all this history, and you know, this is a charismatic character in Finn as well. Like, he's not like this bumbling idiot. You know what I mean? When he's talking to people, they listening, and the women are listening. And Ray was doing the strong independent woman thing, but that was basically a meet cute in a rom-com where you get the player meets the strong-willed woman. It's what women want. It's, you know what I mean? It's what's the one with Jack Nicholson?
The one with Adam Sandler?
No. The one with Jack Nicholson where he is dating like a bunch of younger women all the time, and then like he meets a woman.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. No,
that's the one.
No, It's Complicated I thought that was Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin was in it. It's Complicated. I think it was a Diane Lane.
And Steve
As
Martin.
Good as It Gets.
As Good as It Gets. That's the one.
That might be it.
But it's that one. It's Taming of the Shrew. You know what I mean?
There you go. A little Shakespearean.
Like, it's that story. And I don't think that it would have been a major distraction to the overall like story of Rey becoming a Jedi, but understandably like they made that choice. But unfortunately, like I feel like so many other characters ended up suffering because of it, and the overall story kind of ended up suffering because of it. And then you had the audacity to have her kiss that dude who'd been trying to kill her for the past 3 movies.
And
after basically putting and yeah, so it is disrespectful. You didn't even include Rose, because basically the only reason you created this character was so it didn't look like you just completely hosed Finn on being like, yeah, I know you and Rey was feeling something, but we're not gonna do that. But here's a
What's the idea that they switched the love interest? I mean, because they clearly had built it up one direction, and then to make that 180 and go the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. Because I can't really say that like Adam Driver gave a little relevance to the character of Kylo Ren, not necessarily through just like the most superb acting performance. And he's actually a good actor if you see some of his other stuff, but he did what he could with the character Kylo Ren, the way the character was written. And I think they could have done better to not make him the love interest. Yeah. I think if they had just stayed with the power hungry concept, and if they were gonna try to empower Rey and make it empowering and not have her chase a man in movie 2 and let it be about her, don't fold on that. And then in movie 3, come back and pull in Adam Driver, make that the sudden love interest when you already developed everything in movie 1. So the writing on the wall explains what happened and why they changed it, but we ain't gonna talk about that. And so, it's Star Wars gonna Star Wars as it does, and they spend too much time simply trying to please all the fans while simultaneously pissing all the fans off. Only for people, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't do both. And the ones that have done well are those situations where they went in just to make something good, Mandalorian, as opposed to trying to increase the unnecessary fan base, Boba Fett. You know what I'm saying? Like Boba Fett has actually he's
Diminished
less
in
popular.
value.
Yeah, like he's less popular now that we have more story from him because before he was this mysterious badass, and now I kind of see it. I'm like, ain't nothing badass about him. I
Yeah.
want more Cad Bane. Give me that Cad Bane guy. Let me see him. Give him a show.
It's
'Cause
like
he
when you
actually
see your
seems-
favorite action star and they're like 5'4". You're like, the camera angles are crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's
Like when I was living in LA, that happened a few times. I was like, oh, you're small. Okay. All right.
not quite what I thought. And I mean, honestly, there is a bit that it takes away some of that mystery. It takes away some of that, allure. And when that's gone, that kills it.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But nonetheless, we have had Kenobi, and I have to say that while I can't necessarily rave and rant and scream from the hilltops how much I love Kenobi, it's just so great.
I mean, it's not horrible.
It's not horrible, and I will be fair and say that I have enjoyed watching it.
That's what I've
But-
been hearing this whole time about Kenobi. Is just like it's not horrible.
It's there.
Obi-Wan,
It's there.
Kenobi is the worst. Kenobi is the least interesting part of his own show.
That's crazy.
And
And I
but you know
think
what?
that's the same thing that happened with Boba Fett.
Damn, that's crazy.
But the difference is Kenobi still had an arc in this show.
Yes.
So
I haven't watched the finale, so that's not like a diss to the show or to Kenobi, but I do think it is kind of part of what we talked about on the Star Wars episode of Therapy, found on the Gag network.
YouTube channel.
Check that out.
We'll throw a link.
Gag.
Kind of what we talked about with
I like how you said that, the Gag Network.
But yeah, kind of how we talked about Star Wars focusing so much on the existing characters and trying to they do all this retconning and trying to fill in the gaps so much, but you're doing it with characters where it's like there's no mystery. Like we know Obi-Wan's not gonna die. We know Leia's not gonna die. We know Vader's not gonna die. We know all these characters that you're like, you should care about this show because these characters are in it. But it's like there's no stakes for those characters, and so you end up watching okay, well, what am I really waiting for? What am I learning about? But seeing that Rebel outpost with Ice Cube Jr., you know what I mean? That was interesting. The lady, I would have much rather seen a show about the lady who was bringing Jedi through the Underground Railroad, and every week you get a new Jedi coming through and they get them on a different transport. That's more interesting to me than just.
I mean, the path is definitely that. The path is good for a couple of reasons. One, it makes for an interesting story, and you can do a character of the week, so you can get a number of stories going out there. Two,
Exactly.
You can actually cast the characters Cal Kestis because the path is actually it was created from the game, as we talked about recently. They, with everything kind of being connected and tied in and whatnot, being able to take Star Wars Fallen Order and use elements from Fallen Order. You have the Inquisitors, you have Third Sister being a character created for this, but you know what I'm saying, the Fifth Brother, Second Sister, those characters exist, and there's other characters that you could bring in, and that's the creation of the path. So you maybe do one episode at the beginning just to show that, make it a fan. That'll be one that everybody tunes into because it's got Cal Kestis live action. They could actually use the actor who was the mocap. What is it, Moynihan? I'd have to look his name up, but little redhead kid, he'd be great. You know what I'm saying? And he's already the character in the game, so make him the character live action. That canonizes it even further, and it would make for an interesting story. And like you said, you can introduce random Jedi. These don't have to be established people, but you're introducing new characters and you're giving us something new, and you're going down a new path.
Because it fills out the mythology even more, because now we're not just tied to this one person where we know his journey and shit, and we're constantly just all right, well, when are they gonna get back to Luke? Like we all know, like that's why he's really here. He's got to get back to the boy. Blah 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 blah. And it's just like I would have much rather seen the story of that lady who was a spy inside like the Empire.
Oh yeah,
but also like she's basically Harriet Tubman in the Star Wars universe. And we got like an episode and a half, and she blew herself up. Like
because
man.
she's the kind of character that, and that's the downside to these filler stories like this. I mean, Kenobi. The reason I could not enjoy it more is exactly like you said. I know how this story ends. It doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah,
I already know where the stakes are. There's no real
y'all
danger
doing
for
all
Leia.
this huffing and puffing, and you're not gonna see him again for another like 25 years.
Well, more importantly, like you introduce this character of young Leia, and I get what they're trying to do, establish her personality and explain. You know, when you see her as an adult, you're like, okay, I get it. She's always kind of been like that, but there's no real stakes. So every time there was a moment where it looked like there was danger, yawn, because she's not going to get hurt. She's not going to die. There's no real danger. You know, it's like, oh,
Right.
she got captured. Well, clearly she gets away. I don't know how she gets away, but it doesn't matter how she gets away because clearly she gets away.
She gets away.
And this is one of those stories where at the end of the day, the heroes win, the villains lose, and everything is right in the world. And there's no stakes. And if there's no stakes, it does become difficult to be truly invested. And I would say that honestly, Third Sister, she was the most interesting character on the show.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
And I love that they followed her as much as they did. I think the whole series really should have been about her.
Yeah.
And I think using Kenobi as the vehicle for that was
she's chasing Kenobi, but we seeing it more from her side of things.
Right.
Instead of like being in the desert. Okay, let me ask you something about Kenobi. This is bothering me. Obi-Wan Kenobi's on the run. Usually when people are on the run, they wear a disguise. Obi-Wan Kenobi walked around this entire show looking like a Jedi everywhere he went and was just like, I'm gonna just still fade into this. Like, we didn't get no haircut, we didn't get no fancy outfit change, like nothing. I just did not understand it.
Maybe he was thinking that it's so ridiculous that somebody would just be as brazen to just be a Jedi out in broad daylight that, you know, hiding in plain sight, right?
Well, I think that kind of goes back to this is actually one of the situations where they cherry pick situations like that to use them to their advantage when it works to their benefit. This is a large galaxy. Now, granted, if you go to the same place over and over and over, you know, some people might recognize you. But on Tatooine, they didn't regularly see Jedi on Tatooine. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you look at the Jedi Order, at the largest point, I think the largest collection of Jedi we've ever seen on screen in film was in episode 2, when, you know, they were all right there in that one little pit that they came in to save Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme. When those Jedi dropped in, that's the largest number of Jedi we've seen. And that looked like they called everybody in. If that's all the Jedi that are in the galaxy, the average person doesn't know what a Jedi necessarily looks like. Until you take out that laser sword, they don't know you a Jedi.
But
how many times
the people chasing him did.
The people chasing him did, but the people chasing him, they had like the little hologram image to say, this is who we're looking for. Because when he interacted with the
I'm like, hey, it's a weird dude that be over there in that cave with a hood on.
See, but that right there,
hoods.
Go
get him, Third Sister.
Jawas wear hoods. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't even think anybody really knew where he lived. He looked like he had like an hour commute to and from work every day. on
the space camel.
Right. He had an hour commute on a space camel. He worked in the desert at that was one of the old, essentially that was an old sea creature back when Tatooine was a lush planet. Once it became a desert planet, that's where they would just go and they were like cutting up the meat and everything. So, it's like essentially like the way the Punisher kind of hid out when he was doing construction. He had the beard, so nobody knew who he was anymore. It's a large galaxy. And even though they act like the galaxy is like 2 planets big or 3 planets big and everybody knows everybody, it's really a really big place.
There are so many places that don't know what the space wizard is.
Right. And like I said, they conveniently use that to their advantage when it helps the story, when it moves it along. And so, because if you look at what and again, the character that Kumail Nanjiani was playing, Haja, I think it was, correct. I apologize. I think that's what the name was. I have to look it up. But his character, he was pretending to be a Jedi using the magnets and the light switches and things like that, pretending to have force powers and such. And people knew, like, there's a Jedi on this planet and he helps people. Wasn't nobody turning him in. So, even if they did happen to see, because when he actually, there's a scene where Leia's fallen and he saves Leia.
Nobody turned him in because everybody on that planet was doing illegal stuff.
Okay, so in that particular case, he wasn't somewhere where anybody needed to turn him in. And when he was on Tatooine, he wasn't doing Jedi things. Because when that one dude, his boss was like robbing the employees, like, that's all the money you get. Be happy you're getting that. Now get out of here. He had a moment. He looked at it. He thought about it. He was like, you know what? Let me just get my little coins and go home. Let me go back to my little cave. And every time he gets back to his cave, he walks up. He's got the little droid that's buried in the sand. And he looks to see if it's got the red light or the blue light. If it's got the blue light, he walks in the cave. If it's got the red light, he knows that something's wrong. He had buried his lightsabers. He basically cut his connection to the Force. So, yeah, nobody knew he was there. He was hiding out.
All right.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that it was right. I'm just explaining what happened.
I'm just saying the last thing you're going to see me in is the last thing you saw me in. If you look
I mean, I definitely agree that he could have looked a little less Jedi-like. But when he got ready to go on his mission, that was Jedi battle gear, so to speak.
They deprived us of action figures.
You're right. You know what? Meat Carver Kenobi is the action figure that I want.
He's gonna have that leather vest.
Right. I need the leather slicker in the front with the blood, the little bitty knife in the sheath on the side. And the accessory will be the space camel and a little piece of meat in cloth.
I personally can't wait for Crop Duster Kenobi.
But you know what? You do get one. When you get to the last episode, you do see some outfit changes. So your point is valid and justified. But yeah, that would be, and it's not even the same kind of logic you have with like Superman and the glasses kind of thing. It's a much bigger place and not everybody knows what General Kenobi looks like. And on top of that, it's been 10 years. So if anybody turned him in day one, he's just that dude that lives in that cave.
Right.
So that's where that goes. But I did enjoy the series overall. It was a little hard to just be super invested. Like I said, I kind of knew what was going to happen. So that took away a lot of the thrill. I got to see some lightsaber fights. And to me, lightsabers are Star Wars. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
What up?
I was just agreeing.
Oh, and ultimately they could have done more with Reva. If they want to do a spinoff and show, I mean, do we need a spinoff?
See, look, this is the thing that I want to say. I feel like kind of like what they did with Boba Fett, where they had the thing, but then they wanted to do the other thing that we already knew. But it's like we already have the thing that's working. Like we already have the show in Mandalorian that's showing us what it's like to be a bounty hunter in this galaxy. We can just guess and be like, yeah, okay, I'm guessing this is kind of what Boba Fett probably was like back when he was alive. I don't need you to pull him out of the pit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think with this show, I feel like so many people are clamoring to see like what is Sith training like? What is Like, what is it like for, you know, somebody to be training when they've chosen like the dark side? Because we've only seen people who trained up as Jedi and then were turned, but we haven't seen really people who were like kids with the gift. You know what I mean? That's an interesting thing. And now you're filling in part of the lore where we can apply this to Darth Vader. We can apply this to Darth Maul. We can apply this training and understanding to all these characters without having to actually dig them up and make them go through it themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Darth Vader, you can still have Darth Vader in the Reva show, and you can still have your Anakin flashbacks that everybody loved for some reason. People just were dying to see like Anakin from the prequels again, I guess. But you can still have
pretending like they loved him so much in the prequels to begin with.
I don't understand it, bro. Revisionist history that's happening right now.
People got selective memories. Now all of a sudden, y'all love Hayden Christensen.
He was terrible. Yes, the movies were bad, but he was a part of the reason why they were bad.
It's like sand. He gets everywhere.
How dare you?
He was so like, I mean, what was he? What was the other one he was in? Takers? I liked him better in Takers than I liked him in all of Star Wars. And he was bad in Takers.
He looked like Shooter McGavin's son.
If he wasn't like
a Shooter McGavin prequel.
Yeah, he
wasn't dead on.
He was pretty good in Jumper.
Yeah. I give him Jumper. But the only thing we had to compare with Jumper were the first X-Men movies and Push with Chris Evans, and like no one remembers Push.
Yeah, I was saying, what's Push?
Oh, Push is awesome.
Is that with the little girl?
Yeah, yes, that is the one with the little girl. That the biggest scene that people remember from that movie is where he takes the handguns, puts them behind his back, and he uses like his his telekinesis to levitate them above him. And as he walks in and like holds his hands up, he's like, don't shoot. He doesn't have any guns, but the guns are like literally floating above him. That's like the coolest part. And then let's see. We got a comment from Alex. Nice, big, long comment. Thank you, Alex. What's going on, man? Woo! Says knowing the legacy characters wouldn't die is kind of what lowered the series for me. Agreed. There weren't any stakes. Exactly. Like Reva chasing Luke. Exactly. Like, what the hell was that? Same with Leia being captured. Yep. We know the outcome. I wish we could have fleshed out the series in a different way. Agreed. Exploring Anakin and Obi-Wan's past a bit more would have been interesting. Yeah. And try to avoid them meeting at all. Although that final fight was cool. I agree. I think if there was going to be a meeting, like, first of all, they did let them. They had Anakin and Obi-Wan reunited in episode 2. And it was like, oh, wow, we jumping right to that. Okay. And because of that, it was like,
man, because they know how much people would have been crying if we would have made them wait.
But you know what's crazy?
Same reason they ripped Master Chief helmet
off right on the first episode. Yeah. Oh. But you know what? There are things they did in that last episode that would have been worth the wait. And the only thing that last episode did, the last like 20 minutes of Rogue One. So the entire movie Rogue One was really, really good. But when you got to a certain part in the movie, you kind of felt like you knew what was going to happen from there out. Because now we have the plans, we got to get them up. And at that point, we know many Bothans died. You know what I'm saying? Like we know everything that's going to happen by the end of Rogue One. And so just watching them dot the I's and cross the T's to get that story in place, and then seeing the way it seamlessly transitions into episode 4, that was very impressive. What this did was the exact same thing. It fits in and it sets everything up that you need. They dotted all the I's, they crossed all the T's, and they put
but they dotted the I's after the I's have been dotted. Like these I's and T's have been dotted and
It's okay.
crossed.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Both these who died was for the info on the Death Star too. Shame. Yeah, the point being, you are correct. But everybody who was on the planet when they got the plans for the original Death Star and they were trying to get those plans up to Princess Leia, who was the head of the rebellion at the time, she was there and she was on her little Corvette. So everything that they did at the end of Rogue One was leading right into the beginning of Episode 4. And because of that, when you get to a certain part in Rogue One, you know exactly how the movie ends. They do some nice little stuff, and there were some really, really cool like fan moments in that. So when you sat down and we were watching Rogue One for the first time, although we knew what happened, to see it actually happen on screen was pretty dope, and that was quite enjoyable. Kind of the way I feel for the series finale for this. I know what's going to happen. I know how it's going to wrap up. There were really no stakes at any point in this show, but the way they presented some information was kind of impressive and it was helpful. They could have done some different things. All in all, I give it a C+ because there were lightsabers and people were fighting. Look, I've never pretended like Star Wars is not about lightsabers for me. So
I give it like a. Thus far, I give it like a B-. Like I said, I haven't watched the finale yet, but I do think like
it may.
I feel like the best I could give it would be like a B+ though, just because I just don't like the fact that we can't just move on and do something new. Yeah. But it's like if you're gonna rehash a story, this is like a good way to do it, but it's just not my preference for like what I want in the Star Wars universe. Like I want to learn more. I want to know more. I think that's the Trekkie in me, because it's like every Star Trek series is like different cast, different crew. You're going to different planets. You're meeting different aliens. You're doing all this like different stuff. It's always moving forward.
They're constantly reinventing and introducing something new. I will
even
say,
if it's the same shit, it's a different cast. It's a different captain. Like it's.
Well, different people have different personalities, and different captains have different styles.
Yeah,
Captain Kirk and Captain Picard are not the same.
Right, and then Janeway.
Janeway is captain.
And that was honestly one of my favorite new series for the Star Trek universe was Voyager, because I felt like they'd been in the one side of the galaxy too long. And they shot him completely to the opposite end of the universe.
I agree with you.
Well, that
she's honestly the only. Yeah, she's like the only captain who was like every day she was somewhere that had never been touched by like Starfleet before.
Yep. Like and know what Starfleet was.
Still managed to not violate the Prime Directive or the Temporal Prime Directive too many times, unlike Picard, who would just be like, Prime Directive, what's that?
Like every other episode.
It'd be like the end of every like 5 Star Wars episodes is Riker walking into Picard's office. He's like, yes, I know I violated the Prime Directive. It's like, damn.
What is
doing a lot of illegal shit.
If you know it, then stop. Do better.
Right.
Do better. Well, I will say, like, I was actually looking, and Jeff had a very again, just I'm gonna hype that Instagram up one more time. So find Jeff's Instagram right there. That's him right there on Instagram. He has in one of his saved stories what would you call that? How would you describe that? Your Star Wars, not Star Wars, but your Star Trek.
Oh, it was just like, honestly, I just be trying to get more Black people to watch Star Trek, because I think when we do the Star Trek therapy episode, it's gonna focus a lot on the fan base and the gatekeeping that happens in the Star Trek fan base. Okay. And I feel like it's one of those things
I need
where
a heads up on that one.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's strong Trekkie there.
Yeah. So I feel like because Star Trek has so much stuff in it that you can like get immersed in. You have the people who like, oh, I learned Klingon, I learned Vulcan. Like they really try to embody the stuff. The quiz, like the gatekeeping quiz to impress a Star Trek like serious Trekkie is like impossible at this point. Like there's too many series, there's too many different characters, it's just too much stuff. And I've always come at it from a point of you just have to find the right Star Trek series for you. Like
Oh yeah.
you don't have to like every single Star Trek. I think I've watched almost everything except for Picard and the original series. Like
Alex Bells might be the person that hops on when you do that one. When
Okay.
you get ready to do your therapy episode
Yeah,
of Star
yeah.
Trek,
Yeah, I'll
Alex
hit you
Bells,
up about it.
Alex, that will be your cue to be on
Yeah.
one of our shows.
But
That is
I
that resident
definitely feel like it's one of those things where it's like, do you want people to like this shit or not? Like,
I feel that.
I understand you want people to take it seriously, but there's levels of seriousness, and you just gotta like take a step back and understand. Just like you gotta understand, like your fandom. Like it's a lot of stuff in this like it's a lot in the Star Trek universe. And if somebody's coming in and you throwing, well, this person's from this series, this and that, and blah blah blah, blah, blah. It's like no, like it's not gonna catch people. It's not gonna like intrigue people. You have to actually get to know a person, in my opinion, before you can suggest a Star Trek series to them, because all of them are different.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what kind of show you like, it's important that be the type of show that you watch to get introduced to the universe. Now, if you like the universe, you're going to be more compelled to watch other types of shows or other shows within the Star Trek universe. But if you don't like, if you like a show that's more focused on like week to week, and I'm just like, well, yeah, you definitely have to watch Deep Space Nine, I'm sending you to the wrong show, because Deep Space Nine literally is like the show that introduced like multi-episodic like arcs within like sci-fi and like network television. Every other show up to that point was week to week. And Deep Space Nine was the one that was like, we're going to tell this like overarching story that goes across the course of an entire season. Sometimes we have 3, 4, or 5 part episodes. These are hour-long shows that they're doing to tell this story. Now, if you don't like that, you're not gonna like Deep Space Nine, because sometimes the stories on Deep Space Nine be like, damn, like how many more episodes of this?
Right? It's
But
like,
it's
how many
always
more
worth
times
it.
is Quark gonna get arrested?
Yeah. So I'm gonna suggest to you probably like Voyager, because that's one where they're gonna go to different places. They're learning all new stuff. You're gonna learn about like that's what I actually learned about the Maquis on Voyager, because I watched Voyager before I watched Deep Space Nine, but it made it make more sense for me when I watched Deep Space Nine, because Deep Space Nine actually doesn't really do a great job of explaining the Maquis. They just kind of like dismiss them as like these are like evil ass like Starfleet deserters. But like on Deep Space Nine, you get the understanding of like why they're doing what they do, what kind of people they actually are. It's not just like pro Starfleet propaganda, because they have to like work together. So you got to give people the right Star Trek show if you want them to get on board. And a lot of people just understand that.
I think given that there is so much that falls under Star Trek, you do have something. It almost feels like there is something for everyone, because you know, for your nostalgia people, your classic fans, you can just do the original series. Now, if I'm somebody that says like, okay, I'm much more about the action available in Star Trek, would that be Next Generation? Because it seems like they always fighting.
No, I would say if you want action, I would probably actually suggest like one of the newer series, like either Discovery or Strange New Worlds. Like they do much more fighting in like the more modern Star Trek shows than they did in like um what you call it in Next Generation. For Next Generation, what I would say
Is Next Generation more drama based?
yes. You know what Next Generation is? Next Generation is like it's like masterpiece theater. You gonna tune in, you don't know what the fuck you about to watch. It's gonna be something crazy.
Okay.
Maybe it's connected to the last week when they had a couple like 2-part episodes, but like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like this episode might just be everybody stuck in Robin Hood inside the holodeck. The next episode, Q shows up. The next episode, they go to a pleasure planet, and Wesley Crusher falls and breaks something in the one zone where crime is illegal that day, and he's supposed to be sentenced to death. Now you're dealing with like interplanetary customs and should you respect people's like laws and the Prime Directive and all this other stuff like that. So I think Next Generation is very much. It's an exploration show, but it's an exploration show where everybody on the show knows what's going on, but you don't. That's why I say more like masterpiece theater. Like,
Gotcha.
Whereas on Voyager, you watching the crew try to like figure everything out too. So it's way more like heightened suspense.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I can kind of agree with Alex's next comment.
We have that up there. Yeah.
Strange New Worlds. I've been enjoying Strange New Worlds.
Now he put up another one.
Oh, there we go.
That
at its core, episodic morality plays. Okay.
Yeah, I agree
that.
with that.
I've watched a large number. I can't say that I've ever I've not finished any particular series. I've probably watched the most of the original shows and Next Generation. That's probably what I've seen the most of. And just the randomness of the Next Generation. Yeah, I could definitely say like be some weird stuff. I don't be knowing what's going on. I was always fortunate. It seems like somebody was trying to shoot at them. They were shooting back at people. That's why I thought maybe that one was the action one. But yeah,
but it's like there are some action episodes, but then there's like an episode where basically it's a courtroom drama where Data is on trial and trying to like prove his like sentience or whatever. It's just like all kinds of weird stuff. Like Picard needs to relax and he wants to just lay by the pool and play his little flute. Like, why does Picard play a flute? I don't know.
Oh, but you find out a couple of like the next episode that was all just on the holodeck and that didn't really happen. That was all a dream.
Right. Shut up, Wesley. That's my favorite part of Next Generation.
Well, you definitely made me, and I've had people who've told me for years. So if he comments on this, I won't be shocked. But I've had people who've told me for years that I should get more into Star Trek, and the perspective you provided recently on as I was looking at some of your photos and I saw that and I was like, here you go with this Star Wars. Let me see. And at the end of that, I was like, I guess I got to start watching Star Trek. That makes
a lot of black people in Star Trek, man. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
And honestly, they are some of the most like. I'm not sure how to put it. Like they're the most out there characters. Like
impactful. Like you remember those characters.
Oh yeah.
Like even if you didn't really watch the show, everybody remember LeVar Burton. Everybody took their sister headbands and put it over their eyes like LeVar Burton,
bumping their knees in the wall and everything.
My wife had no clue people did that. She had one of those, and it was like the first thing I did. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Star Trek." She's like, "What? You're such a nerd." I'm like, "Everybody did this, girl.
Everybody did this." Let me tell you something. I did that multiple times. That was a thing. And look, I can even tell you, it was the banana clip headband that you did it with. So I know exactly.
What's funny is that is actually a banana clip headband
that they used to make his visor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practical prop for the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's like even the black people who were like on other planets, like it's black Vulcans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had this idea for like a Star Trek. It would be like a Star Trek like parody like sketch, right? It's like so you know how like so in the Star Trek universe, it's very clear that like the Vulcans are monitoring Earth, and basically once you achieve like warp technology, they come in, they meet, blah blah blah, whoop de whoop, they help you like cultivate your like warp tech. And Enterprise in the show Enterprise, they like are basically like making us go very very slow, and it's like conflict between the Vulcans and the humans because we're like we ready to get out there, and they're like, no, you're warp tech not, and they're like, well, help us. It's like, no, we give it to you. Then so it's like a whole thing. But I was like, it's Black Vulcan's own Vulcan just watching like black people in America get treated like this. I was like, I wonder if they like trying to have meetings. Be like, nah, help some of our Black Earth brothers.
But you know what? It's that goes right back to the Wakanda argument then.
Yeah.
And so that's why you have some people
Wakanda
who
was like,
look at Wakanda and they're like, okay, I get why Wakanda did what Wakanda did.
Thoughts and prayers.
But that's also why you got so many people who look at Killmonger and they're like, hey, he got it right.
Yeah. Killmonger had a good idea, but the country descended in the Civil War day one.
Yeah.
A spider's
like,
going to kill you.
Like day one, Civil War.
Right.
He can't be right.
Well,
like at least if you're gonna go to Thanos' right, if you're gonna go to Thanos' right route, at least everybody on Earth, when everybody disappeared, everybody had enough.
This is true.
He could have snapped to double the resources, but you know, villains got a villain.
I mean, you got to do it the way that's gonna, put the most seats in the theater. So, but that nonetheless, your post had me looking at Star Wars a little differently, and I said I'm gonna have to like take some time to really Star Trek. Sorry, reflex, defense, automatic. But it does have me wanting to look at it with a new perspective, and I think I might be able to enjoy it a little bit more.
What kind of I'm gonna pick a show for you right now, a series for you to start with. Tell me what you want in a Star Trek series.
In a Star Trek series, okay. Given that it is sci-fi, I want good tech. I want gadgets and I want action. So
that's it.
I mean, Star Trek has enough in terms of like story and characters and all that type of stuff. So I mean,
I know, but like what types of stories, what types of characters? Because like there's some series where there's like more love stories. There's some series that show you kind of like what it's like for day to day, like having a family, having friendships, blah blah blah, navigating.
Okay, for something like that, I would like to see something that follows like a procedural drama, much like a Law and Order format.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I think that you should watch Voyager because Voyager is like you have enough base level understanding about Star Trek to watch Voyager because Voyager basically like jumps in to the middle. Like you basically like episode 1, you are jumping into like the middle of like a battle and a skirmish, and Captain Janeway has to make a decision that ends up creating
7 and 9. I'll watch that one.
Rest of the show. It's a long time for you get to 7 and 9, but Belana Troy is not too bad either. No, I mean, what's her name?
I know who you're talking about. It's the part Klingon.
Yeah, the half Klingon.
Yeah,
but I think like you're gonna because they're in a quadrant that they don't know. There's no like outposts and decks where they're gonna be staying on no planets for a long time or nothing like that. So every episode is about them getting back on the ship and back on their way. Some episodes are just purely on the ship. Some episodes they're exploring planets and stuff. There's a lot of very interesting like one-off episodes, like one where like Neelix and somebody and another type of alien, they like fuse and make like one new person. And then like it becomes this whole ethical debate because the new person is actually not either of them. It's they're their own sentient being, and they have to make the conscious choice to like separate so that the other two people can be their own two people again. So there's episodes mixed in there like that. There's episodes about like what do you do if you're on a 75-year mission and somebody Tuvik that episode. Yeah.
It was Neelix and Tuvok, which was the Vulcan.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like we got a winner.
I just realized that's one thing that every Star Wars or Star Trek show has is that one Vulcan.
Got to. Well, no, not Next Generation. Next Generation has Data for that role.
That is true.
Because I think they said that they didn't want to do a Vulcan to kind of separate it more from the original series, so it didn't look like a complete ripoff. But Data is supposed to kind of play that same role that Spock plays in the original, of that kind of like not even that. It's more like he's there to like put humanity on trial. You know what I mean? It's basically like Spock and Data basically is just basically them asking like, why do you guys do that? Why are you doing that? Like, that's not logical. That doesn't make sense. And then they're trying to explain stuff like intuition and, you know, hunches and all that kind of stuff, because these are people who, in Spock's case, is half human and is curious to know more about his human side, being raised on Vulcan. And in Data's case, Data being an android who is basically like, the goal is for him to learn and pretty much learn his way up to humanness. And there's a lot of interesting stuff with Data too.
Okay, so Voyager, we'll check out Voyager. I see it's available on Paramount Plus, so I would get on that, and I would have a couple
think
episodes
all of them are available on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my queue. And it's funny because episodes of Picard would play if I fell asleep while we're trying to watch Halo.
Man, episodes of Picard play when you fall asleep watching anything. I don't even be on Paramount and I wake up Picard playing. Like, how did we get to this? I was watching Disney Plus.
Yeah, Paramount is pushing Picard.
Picard, man. Picard is deep in somebody's pockets.
I was about to say they got to recoup at some point where they apparently
probably
like
Patrick Stewart. He's like, nah. Y'all told me, like, I told you they didn't want to do it. You brought me back. Nah, push it. I need to see it.
Or more importantly, like, they got to pay for it.
Right.
They got to pay for it somewhere. Push it like a bow. Exactly.
Like, see, that's the one that I don't know if I'm gonna watch, because I feel about that like I feel about Boba Fett. Like, we got 7 seasons of Picard in his prime. I don't know what I
we don't want to ruin the legend.
Picard.
Right.
This is not Logan.
Exactly. If this is going to be his swan song and he, can exit gracefully from the series finally, but I feel like he had a nice departure, so it was kind of a big deal when it was like they're coming back to do this show Picard. And it's like, wow, really? He had this. Like you said, he had 7 series. He had what was it? 2 movies?
I think so. Yeah.
I know at least 2, possibly a third. 2 come to mind right away. Because he had the one with the Borg.
It was the one with the Borg, and then it was the one where all the captains was there, except Cisco for some reason.
Well,
they do my boy Cisco dirty, man.
Was Deep Space Nine out at that point though?
I don't know.
4 movies. So yeah, like I said, our local Trekkie. I know. There we go. 4 movies: Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. This boy, this is your. When you get there, I just want to be. You know what? I will produce that show. I don't even have to be on that show. I will. You
can be on it. You got. I mean.
Well,
I like having different levels of fandom, and by that point, you will have watched some
a couple
of
episodes of Voyager, and so I'll be able to speak for Voyager. So, Man, Cisco was never in the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah,
And
I'm okay. Since we on Star Trek, and I'm gonna just give like a little half taste of something that I want to
Okay.
get into
hold
about
on. Wait. We go. Give it to us. What you got? You got the floor.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine was a truly monumental show. It changed the way a lot of people watch television. Spent a lot of time, went through a lot of conflict with those characters. I'm not gonna spoil how it ends, but the way it ends for my boy Cisco, considering how it has ended for every other Star Trek captain that I have seen thus far, save for potentially Captain Pike in Strange New Worlds. I don't understand why his had to end that way. Why couldn't my boy get a happy ending? My boy went through a lot. My boy stood up to the Cardassians. My boy, you know what I'm saying? He's helping the Bajorans make sure the land is full of milk and honey. And in the end, and then and now his wife is a single pregnant mother on with no like what kind of ending is that? I don't know if they thought it was coming back. Clearly it wasn't. But they need a movie or something to follow this up because it just don't sit well with me how it all ended. I get it ends, but nothing really ever ends side of things. But nah, I needed Cisco. I think Cisco deserved better.
Oh, most definitely.
That's it. End rant on Cisco.
All right. And what show was that? That was Deep Space.
Space Nine.
Hmm.
Still 100% worth the watch.
May have to add that on just.
But I
because.
think it's worth the watch once you are like a little more immersed in Star Trek universe.
All right. I mean, you know what? I would not be hard to make me a Trekkie. I'm sure it won't. And
Deep Space Nine is like a lot of Deep Space Nine is kind of like the Star Wars prequels in that like you think it's about laser swords, but really it's just like a Senate debate.
Right.
Like there's a lot of like policy and like negotiation stuff in Deep Space Nine, but then they get active on there too. So yeah. No, that's dope. You met Avery Brooks. That man is a
Yep.
legend.
I know
First
Alex.
black captain in Star Trek. It's whack that they made him not be able to wear his like look the way he wanted to the first few seasons. But eventually we got that classic bald head goatee Cisco.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, the first couple seasons they were like, it's weird. Like nobody's ever worn like facial hair in Star Trek, and like they were kind of looking at it as like this like military thing. But it's just like he was kind of just like, this is how black people wear their hair. Like my hairline is receding, and I
As
wear a
soon as
bald
this
head.
starts to go, we keeping this. We letting it go.
Yeah, of course. You know, sometimes cultural context is needed in various sets and walks of life.
That gets into the producer's room and that sort of thing, and that's another conversation another day. But
Better if you could.
there we go. Star Trek, Star Wars. We touched on that. I don't really think there's. You know what? The only thing I'm gonna say about Stranger Things. This is it. A real quick one. I'm very glad that there's a part 2 because initially we were talking about the number of episodes that were going to be in this part 1 for season 4. And as we go into part 2, it's looking like that's going to be more than just 1 or 2 episodes for part 2. And so the season finale of part 1 was like hour and a half as a single episode. And I was like, they're not going to be able to wrap all of this up in time. And sure enough, they didn't. Only for me to see the trailer after the credits roll and see that, oh, we got a whole part 2 of season 4. And that looks like that's going to be a whole, it's almost like it could be a second season if they did, since they only did 7 episodes, if they did 3 like 2-hour episodes, they could probably pull it off that way, which essentially would end up being like 6 or 7 actual episodes. So they'd end up having a 14 episode season 4.
If you're trying to make a
That would probably be enough.
Okay.
The Boys keeps getting wilder and wilder, and I understand
that show crazy.
That show crazy.
That show crazy.
And I am not shocked they're going the way they went.
I'm not either, but will the people who need to get it?
Probably not, because you have people that just figured out Homelander's the bad guy. That was a whole thing online. Like people, there's a.
I pegged that day one.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You can go online and you can find out there are some.
Like they just didn't know this was a parody.
No. They knew that they essentially knew the show was a parody. They did not realize that Homelander was the villain.
Wait, this isn't a bit. You're serious?
Wait, who did they think was the villain?
Let me see if I can pull up the info.
Wait, hold on. What?
Like the show literally starts with the kid, with the dude.
David, you're a little faster. See if you can pull that up. But yes, there's a whole
weird
number of people. I'm sorry, I got 2 Davids on tonight. I had 2 Jeffs on the other day.
Are we watching the same show? Like
Heroic Cat. I'm gonna let Heroic Cat work with it. You know what? And I got another guy with a hat named David. Like, damn it, y'all. They both got on red hats. I can't even be like the red hat David. You know what? Okay, glasses David and no glasses David.
I mean, I was gonna ask if I need to go get the green hat.
Nah.
You know, I've got multiple options.
You've got so many options. How much are the hats going for? You pushing those?
I haven't decided yet because those take
wait.
Right, we found it.
Right-wing American audience is confused that the Boys Homelander is a villain. Are we not watching the same show?
Wait a minute.
You thought I was playing.
This is
no. My issue is the fact that it specifies.
You had it.
Right wing.
Yeah, that's I'm like, what? Hold on. Oh, this is Twitter thread. Oh, the breadcrumbs. Let's go. The Boys subreddit is in chaos right now. Threads getting locked. Users rage deleting whole accounts. It's amazing. Right-wing users are whining about no politics, but it's impossible to talk about the show without them. Fans who thought Homelander was cool are in a meltdown.
Fans who thought Homelander was cool. Like, what are we?
This is good.
I mean, but keep in mind that there are people who there's actually some clips if you catch it real good in the show. There's a channel I follow on YouTube and they do like full episode breakdowns, and I go and look for Easter eggs and spoilers. Shout out to Ryan Airy. We're gonna go there.
Wait. No, this isn't real. The Boys perfectly displays what the dictator trap is. Homelander takes power, removes all people who know how to do their jobs because they aren't trustworthy, puts his goons in those positions, refuses to hear criticism or bad news, and becomes increasingly paranoid and unstable. The Boys' political satire is so good. And there's a bunch of like thread locks for violating rules 3 and 6.
Yeah.
This is good.
I'm one of them people. I know. Never mind. Go ahead. You go.
When you first said that there were people that are just now realizing Homelander is the bad guy, I honestly thought you meant in the show.
Oh no.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a bit. I thought he was doing a bit, but this is real. Oh God.
I am so shocked.
Well, see, and
you watched some Homelander with me, right? Or some of the Boys with me, right?
No, you told me you didn't want me to start a series that you already threw.
Okay.
Yeah, the wife had to miss out on all of Kenobi because I'm like, we at the series finale. I'm not finna like rewatch all these episodes.
Right.
But after I finish it, now I'll go back and binge it with her now because now I can watch it and look for stuff, pick up stuff, look for subtext, that kind of thing. But once I hit like episode 3, yeah, this is a me show. It's not enough show.
It's worth pointing out that even as right wing and as right wing and transgressive as the comic was, it's very clear that Homelander is a deranged fascist. I mean, he full on spoiler a baby at one point, but there seems to be a lot of fans of the show who thought he was just a cool guy.
Oh my god! Like, didn't he put his fist through somebody?
Yes.
See, the thing is, and here's where people get confused, and this is just my analysis. I am no certified psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, or anything like that. I just pay attention and I talk to a lot of people. A lot of times, people have a hard time recognizing a narcissist.
No.
What you got?
I'm not sure.
Fans are arguing that they're hoping for a redemption arc for Homelander.
Yeah, he'll die
Oh
eventually.
yeah, they definitely. No, that makes 100% sense. That makes 100% sense that they are waiting for the redemption arc for Homelander.
Oh, I'm crying.
Oh yeah, because I mean, and see, that's the thing. Like I said,
Because that's what happens
every time. And the best story is when you if you have a really good villain and you bring them back to the light.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's better than
These
having a hero fall.
headlines for these news articles are taking me out. Right wing The Boys fans grapple with Homelander being a villain, confusing everyone.
See, that's why like people get on me when I be talking shit about like movies like Joker and like people's obsessions with like Joker and Loki and Thanos and like all these villains and stuff. I mean, I give a pass to Magneto because I get that.
Oh wait, hold on. This is my favorite one. In the latest episode of The Boys, the MAGA crowd finally catches on. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hello, we've been here for 3 years. Thank you for joining us.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, this is good.
But yeah, I'm just like, shit, what was I saying?
People who identify with the villains.
Yeah, people who identify with these villains, it's like, I think you are missing the point. Like, and then I feel like then you make a movie like Joker where it's like in the messaging kind of feels like he's justified in doing what he did. And it's very vague on like what was real and what wasn't. And it was just kind of like, to me, it was just like watching him have whatever that fantasy was about like Zazie Beetz, and then like completely disassociate and actually think that this woman was his girlfriend and walk up in her house and have like an episode, and then like just to redeem it by him just like shooting a bunch of people who were like laughing at him. I'm like, okay, but like what is the message of this movie if like that dude ends the movie like standing on top of a car being treated like a messianic figure, right? Like, I mean, so often, because I look at it like this, so often like we talk about like music and video games and all this stuff, especially with certain communities and the
impressionable youth. We'll just say impressionable individuals.
You put all this in your music, and then no wonder kids go out in the streets and do it. It's like, okay, well, you make movies where the psychos are like revered and adored by the public at the end, and like, what do you think that's gonna make? More fucking psychos. Like,
I mean, it's a direct parallel. Like, I can't look. I'm not gonna say that.
Or people who can't recognize the psycho in the story.
And that's I believe is the biggest problem. And that's what I was saying a moment ago. Hold on, David. I'm gonna let you get that last one in, but this is what I was saying a moment ago. Oftentimes, people have a hard time recognizing a narcissist because
Batman lets them live.
Well, not only that,
bro.
Not only that, but I mean, realistically, it's like when you see somebody who says things or does things and you don't see why that's a problem, you begin to identify more with what they're saying. You're uplifting them because they had the guts to say it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're not really hearing what they say because that's what you think. That's what you believe. They just said it. And now that person is kind of held up. If that person is in fact a narcissist, then you have to kind of like do some self-evaluation and try to figure out, are you in fact a closet narcissist? And when I look at the show The Boys, the biggest thing is like there's a line in one of the recent episodes where Homelander says, I would much rather be loved, but hey, being feared, okie dokie by me.
So,
And that's the kind of mentality right there.
that's what I say. That might be the
That's the problem.
Because they think life is the locker room.
Like,
and it's like,
all he's
bruh,
concerned about is
football
being
season's over. You didn't make state.
right.
You didn't go D1. You
Oh,
didn't
my
go
God.
to the league. Like, so like leave all that locker room macho. You gotta be this, you gotta be that. Leave, like go take that somewhere else, man.
He ends up at different points in the season, he ends up becoming like the CEO of Vought. And one of the first questions, like, he's talking to the board of directors there at Vought. And of course, they're doing exactly what you would expect. They're all like coming right in, kissing ass. And they're like, oh, Homelander, I think we should do great things under your direction because you're such a fantastic leader and da 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 da. And then one woman is like, Homelander, it's a pleasure. My name is Susan. Question. So with the change in, like with Edgar gone, what are we going to do about the such and such and such and such? And you can look and tell my man has no clue what she's talking about.
She's talking about.
She's speaking in a whole other language to him, and she made him feel dumb. And because she made him feel dumb, he immediately like threatened her life. You know what I'm saying? Like
he threatens to kill A-Train on a regular basis because he mildly sasses him.
No, because he just doesn't like how he looks that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He took
And by doesn't like
breath
how he
wrong.
looks, he means the black skin.
The only reason I think he can tolerate Black Noir is because he's got on a whole full costume.
Bingo.
And he's a little sick and twisted himself. So
yeah, like he know where all the bodies buried on.
Right. So it's
Right,
like they
yeah.
can't do nothing to him. And we watching Maeve, who's, she's allowing herself to be rebranded just for the purpose of staying relevant and
Maeve's trying to stay alive.
right. Like I'm saying, to stay relevant and breathing. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
She doesn't even care about relevancy. She's just like, man, this breathing thing is real cool. I want to do it again tomorrow.
you know what? I like this waking up and living.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna get me some more of that life.
Yeah,
I got
man.
some more life out there.
And, like my heart pumping still. Yeah, that shit's lit. Like,
That's the greatest thing. And poor Starlight. I'm so like,
oh man.
man.
It just you think
I need Starlight to be stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain element of okay, so every character that I've seen, and I was kind of like taking a small inventory of this the other day because I noticed small spoiler. So some stuff happened in Russia with Kimiko, and if they don't let her talk, I'm gonna be so pissed. Because y'all done got 3 seasons of her, 2.5 seasons of her not talking. And I done had 2 episodes where I had a full episode where she was like, they was doing the whole little La La Land bit and had the little musical number. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Land.
They had the little musical number part. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say La La Land is because it was a
Terrible movie.
Kind of. It was a really bad musical section at a really weird part of the movie. And that's why I referenced it was a La La Land part, because it was like,
they
it didn't fit.
tricked me.
Because
that opening, I thought that movie was gonna be fire. And then the actual stars showed up and it was like, y'all can't sing or dance. What are we doing?
They're acting like they can sing and dance. But we got Kimiko and there's something happening with her powers right now. And so of course she's like, give me something heavy. So that got me to thinking, and I was kind of like tracking, do all of the soups on the show essentially have like higher durability, higher physical resistance, and higher strength, that sort of thing? Like I would
think so,
imagine
yeah.
everybody must be minimum peak human performance kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
just
we
because,
haven't seen what's her name though, the head exploding lady do any like fighting at all though.
right.
So
So I mean, in that sense, we don't know.
I mean,
but
she also doesn't have to.
right,
right.
she's kind of a distance fighter. She's a range fighter, not a close up.
Well, no, because
Sniper.
was the other okay? So when they were in the alley, when she was fighting her homeboy from the foster care home,
Right.
was he a super also?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then never mind. Because I was gonna say he was choking the shit out of her in the alley. If he was just a regular man and she was a super,
Nah, that was kind of the point. He was from Red River also. But
I mean, I think it's kind of like X-Men, where it's like most of the X-Men, if you look at their stats, it's like 6'4", 230 pounds, rippling muscles,
and I
like
get that.
agility. Their agility, like their baseline human is like higher than like our peak, and then
Right.
there's
That's
like
why I say
additions
like,
on top of that.
and that is my theory. I'm thinking everybody has to at least be minimum peak human. And what made me think about it was, so everybody has like this, like everybody has a special power, and
Mhm.
then they have standard powers.
Yeah.
So I guess standard power is like everybody's going to end up being, if you're a suit by default, you're going to be super strong, super fast,
Yeah. So I'm looking.
super durable.
I'm kind of looking at like a brief profile, like everybody, at least in like the 7.
Uh-huh.
Everybody seems everything that the powers that people have in common is superhuman strength, superhuman durability, superhuman speed, superhuman reflexes, superhuman hearing, stuff like that. There are certain things that are specific to one character, like of course Homelander's invulnerable,
And laser eyes.
and
Starlight has her
the
starlight power.
electricity manipulation for Starlight, the deep
Aquatic powers and
yeah. So
okay. And so that's kind of what I was wondering, because I'm thinking like, essentially it seems like Homelander is one of the few people that could actually effortlessly kill another soup.
yes.
And when you see all these situations where it's like, I think about Starlight and I'm like, Starlight's taking some abuse, and of course she heals quickly because she's a soup, so she still heals quickly. But
Right.
I'm wondering, like, how much punishment could she? It sounds bad, and I don't even want to say it like that. So help me put it into words, like what I'm trying to say here. Like,
No, I think you keep going.
How long?
Let me put this shovel down right now.
How much pain could she take?
So as like
with the next
again,
episode coming up, I don't even want it to come out that way.
Right. So just looking at the profile again, it's saying that she can she can withstand 50 caliber bullets, but she still felt pain and bled a little bit.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm trying to get. Like in terms of the durability, if there was a 1 to 10 scale of durability, the average human is like a 2. She would be like a 6.
Yes.
Homelander's a 12.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like he goes over the scale.
Her skin is tough enough that it requires a diamond edge weapon with substantial amount of force to penetrate.
Gotcha.
So she's got a good bit of bulk on her, but she, like, if Homelander decides like, yeah, I'm just gonna like shove my hand through her stomach, yeah, she's not doing anything about it.
Well, see, and again, that's something that's specific to a small portion of heroes. In this case, only someone like Homelander, because while Maeve is probably still going to be, like, in terms of strength, Maeve is probably like an 8, higher than, say, Black Noir, higher than the Deep, but not as high as Homelander.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like when you, because even with Stormfront, you know what I'm saying? Where does she fall on the list? Stormfront's probably like, where are her stats? She's probably going to rate a little higher in some things, a little lower in some things. But ultimately, 3-on-1, she had to rate a little higher because it took 3.
Yes.
Like she wasn't, Starlight wasn't going 1-on-1 with her. She would have
It
got
took
beat.
it took 3 soups.
Right. It took 3 soups to take her down. So her stats would be a little bit higher. And we know that she's a soup from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now, all of that, of course, makes me think about where does Soldier Boy fall in that category?
See, now Soldier Boy, he's a different case because like
Right.
right.
I'm waiting to see.
But
And I'm
this
gonna be
this
real
is
mad if they don't play that song when he
and
finally has his showdown.
also this is speculation because I haven't seen the most recent episodes because I've been busy.
Right.
And this is just speculation on, and you can kind of tell me from like on point or not. But it seems like he can like fuck with Soup's powers, but I'm not entirely sure.
What I saw was he has like some sort of like radioactive blast, and whatever that radioactive blast hit Kimiko with, her shit went bye-bye.
Right. Now we don't know if that's permanent yet. We don't know.
And so I think
Right.
when they were like, we got this thing that could kill Homelander, they thought it was like a weapon, but it's Soldier Boy and that like blast.
But see, then the question, there's still a question of how they took down Soldier Boy to begin with, because there's some stuff that we see regarding Soldier Boy, and we see that his durability is way up there as well.
Yeah.
So he might be up there in the same categories as like where Homelander is.
I got a theory on that too.
And as do I, which is kind of why I'm looking and I'm wondering like that. And so that's why I start off with the baseline as far as like, are all soups inherently super strong, super durable, that sort of thing? Because like, I mean, we see little things like every time Huey tries to open a jar, Annie has to reach over and take the jar open and hands it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's minor. Okay, your girlfriend's stronger than you.
That's
right.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, my super ex-girlfriend kind of thing. So it's like, okay, strong, powerful girlfriend. You're a regular guy. That, of course, they're a perfect match for that reason. And it makes for good television. And even going the little like the 3-way love triangle they tried to write up with having the old Flame come back into the picture, Supersonic, when he showed up, and poor kid, when he showed up.
Shame what they did to that dog.
Damn shame.
Did not have to do that boy like that
at all. So as we get around to Homelander and his limitations, his capabilities, his durability, how that matches up and where that matches up versus Homelander. So Homelander, Soldier Boy, and then of course there's a couple other things that have happened with Temporary V. We're not gonna spoil it for those of you who hadn't watched it, but it's been a damn fun ride, and I can't wait for the next few episodes.
Oh yeah, I'm watching tomorrow for sure.
It's been a lot of fun. It's on some other shit, and this new episode coming up. That was a one-off in the comics, and it was like,
you gonna give your theory?
I'm gonna wait and see if I done did enough red stringing and end up being wrong each time. You tend to do a little better.
I'll be right. So this one
ooh, the shade. Go ahead. What you got though?
I think that what's the name? young Giancarlo.
Young Edgar.
I think he traded.
Young boy.
I think he traded Soldier Boy to the Russians so that he could find a cure. He could find something to take down supers just in case any one of them ever got out of control. Now, I don't know how they took him down, but he got contingencies for everything.
Right.
So if you telling me this person is invulnerable and they also like worked with him, it's a vulnerability somewhere. He basically Batman without the cape in terms of having contingency plans. So I think it's gonna come out that like he has something to do with like the ambush, and the ambush was the cover to getting Soldier Boy out of there, to getting Russians to get him so they could create a weapon to stop any hero were any hero to grow too powerful, i.e. Homelander. And because the superheroes don't age, I'm not exactly sure what Homelander's age is, but this could be a situation where it's like Homelander is like born or is like a little kid and they're like, oh, this little motherfucker crazy. Like we got to have a contingency plan. And the only contingency plan is to turn Soldier Boy into that weapon.
Okay. I mean, they
Maybe
definitely
Soldier Boy is Homelander's dad.
The syringe.
No, I mean, honestly, I definitely think that since we know that, okay, so, and it's funny you say that Homelander's his dad, because of course that was something that is kind of where my theory goes. So I do think that something exists. I do think that there is in fact a weapon, because they still took Soldier Boy down, they kidnapped him, and they were able to restrain him. So there is something that was able to affect his powers. We see the little tapes that MM is watching, and the tapes that he's watching shows some of the experiments and everything that they were running to while they were just trying to figure out what they could and couldn't do. Now, I believe the side effect is, as they were basically they poisoned Soldier Boy to a degree. All the experimentation caused his powers to mutate. Vought has been creating superheroes for some time, and I believe Soldier Boy was also a created superhero. Because he was a created superhero, the formula could be changed. And once the formula got changed, you know, he got a Molotov cocktail in him, and now it's evolved into something different. He's still trying to figure it out, and it looks like he doesn't have direct control over it at first, but as we continue on, we start to see that, okay, maybe he does have direct control over it. Looks like it was kind of tied to emotion, but maybe not. I think all other soups kind of derived from him.
It would make sense, honestly.
They kind of make it seem like all soups came from Vought. Vought basically owns him. And the moment back in the previous season, the moment Homelander was like putting V out on the market in other places, Edgar already knew about that. And he was like, you know, because you're out here doing your own thing, trying to get these military contracts, you're messing up money. That's bad for business. So that was when he started like really trying to put a stop to that type of thing. And all Edgar's ever done has just been damage control, just to keep the pockets lined. You know what I'm saying? Keep the shareholders happy, because that's what it is. At the end of the day, Vought is nothing but a business, and superhero makes money. What they do, everything to them is PR. And that kind of came from when you see them talking about the Legend. When they go and they visit the Legend, and shout out to Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser. Every time I turn around, he popping up. He was in Stranger Things. Now he in The Boys. Like, make that comeback.
It's crazy too, because like when they show all them pictures like in his house, I was like, these probably just all pictures.
Right. These are actual photos
in real life.
Right. These could be actual photos.
Like, Paul, you got any pictures with famous people? Can you bring some in? It's like, yeah, here's me and Michael Jackson. It's like, what?
Right. Lonnie Anderson. No, you know what? Google it.
Right.
Google.
Right. And so it's like, if everything came from it, I think of it in the same context as I think of like how you hear about some of the vampire mythos and whatnot. So when you have a vampire that creates another vampire, their powers don't work against one another, but the elder vampire still has seniority and superiority over the fledgling vampire, and ultimately would be stronger than that vampire. Homelander, of course, just drunk on his own power right now. No one else around is as strong as him. But Soldier Boy comes in, and though he can't fly and he doesn't have, laser eyes, he's just as invulnerable, and therefore now has the opportunity to level the playing field. Because if that radiation blast comes out his chest, Homelander's powers start to wane and fade. And that's why I think it's a big deal that even though we see Kimiko has no powers currently, I'm curious if they are in fact gone, or if they're just stalled. Like you take any other cartoon or comic or whatever, heroes be losing their powers left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes they do everything they can to get their powers back because they begin to realize that, their powers are important and it's a part of who they are, yada, yada, yada. And so, it would be a different story if Homelander lost his powers, as that would then make him vulnerable for the first time. And since we were kind of talking about that whole redemption arc, if we see Homelander have to be Clark Kent for a little bit, you would think that it would give him a different perspective. But Homelander go Homelander, and I don't think it's going to change his perspective. He's going to be just as much an asshole. We're going to come to realize this dude is just he's just a narcissist. It has nothing to do with his powers. The powers, and the reason is because we hear Butcher says the V just makes you more of who you are.
Yeah.
It was already in you. The V just makes you more of who you are. And of course, that direct line from the comics, with great power comes the absolute certainty that you're going to be a right royal asshole. We'll use that one. We'll use that word. But yeah, so I do think all superheroes, and there is going to be a whole conversation of I'm your daddy because all heroes come from Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
And that's going to mess with Homelander's mind. Because even though, he just said immaculate conception. Mm-hmm. Bruh, you was not Jesus. Stop. So that's I guess that's why I'm kind of holding off my theory. It's not as neatly formed. It kind of spiders out. But it's from a lot of the different things and segments that were in the last few episodes. So I don't think the radiation blast is permanent. I don't think it erases all traces of V out of the body, because they now have temporary V, which does not stay in the body, but the V that the other soups have in them, they've had since they were kids, but they don't have to dose up constantly.
I just had a thought. So if Soldier Boy's whole thing is that he can pretty much neutralize a soup's powers, right? Wouldn't anybody who just happens to have V24 on them just have the upper hand immediately? Is that where this is going?
Well, and see, the thing is, yes and no. Given that this is a new power that he has. I think the chest blast radiation thing, that's a new power he has. That wasn't always there. That's something that developed in his time while he was in the chamber in Russia or whatever. So he doesn't necessarily does.
Yeah, he's like when Bucky woke up and just had one arm.
So he just woke up, he went to sleep and now it's 20 minutes later for him. Got it.
No. He knows it's been some time. He knows it's been some
time. I'm exaggerating, of course. And I'm more so just the power part.
Oh yeah. As far as the power, I don't even think he knew he had the power till he woke up, and that's why initially I was trying to see if it was connected to emotion, because he came out the chamber, he had an opportunity to get free, and he just wide open. There was no reason. She wasn't attacking or anything like that. It was just the first person he saw. Boom, he hit her. Then when we do see him again.
But if you look at those tapes of the experiments, it's everybody who he's seen for the past 40 years has been poking, prodding.
No. And I get that. But here it was an opportunity. He got out and there was nothing restraining him. He had an opportunity. So he just felt some kind of way and it hit, because when you look at the second time we see the power, he's having PTSD.
But what I'm saying is the reason why he fried her was because every time somebody takes him out of there, they doing an experiment on him. So over time, it's just the next person I see is getting fried. The next person I see, because the next person I see is probably gonna try to experiment.
And I get that part. But if they were taking him out of that chamber to do any kind of experiment, they had a way to stop him from retaliating, fighting, using his super strength, all of that.
Yeah, it was that gas.
So the door opened up. There was no gas. Boom. He hit, and now I'm a dip. So I agree with you. It was just like whoever's there is finna catch this.
Just gonna
But
get
it
this work.
wasn't. It was because he saw an opportunity to escape because he wasn't gassed up or whatever. The next time we see that power used is PTSD. He's having a moment, and it looks like it was just triggered. It looked like a response. The next time we see it get used, look at who he's talking to. Look at the conversation he's having. Look at how he feels. Boom. So I thought it was something connected to the emotions behind it, and that's why I'm like, I'm not even sure if he can totally control it. It doesn't seem to damage any of his clothing and all that kind of stuff. So of course, there's that whole comic book part of it, because that doesn't make any sense. Big chest blast like that should absolutely either be in the shape of the little eagle that's on his chest or something. Or maybe they needed to, like, like they did for Havoc, put a little thing on his chest so that it can be channeled through that. But yeah, I think it's a temporary effect. We're gonna end up seeing Kamiko get her powers back. Hopefully, as a result, her throat will heal in the meantime, and she'll be able to talk. Because oh my god, that would be awesome if she and Frenchie could finally talk.
Yeah.
So I'm still curious and looking forward to it. Shame on Huey, but I get it. And Butcher,
No. Huey is on some. He about to lose his girl.
no. When I say shame on Huey, I'm not talking about for that last thing. Like, nah, you was just stupid for that. But
I mean, but even for taking the V, for just being like if you can't,
that's the part I get.
that's the part I'm like, fam.
Like, I get it. I understand. You stupid for it, but I get it.
Exactly. That's why I was like, shame on you, but I get it.
You real dumb.
So, and MM, like, he gonna end up beating somebody's ass for it's all said.
You need to.
Nah, you know what?
They
Honestly,
deserve it.
I was really upset for a minute because I thought for a second that I'm glad he just got roofied. That's all I'm gonna say, because I thought he went the other way, and I was like, yo, that's dirty, dog.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought he did that too, and I was about to be like,
I was really feeling some kind of ways for to be upset about that. But I am curious to see, and I think it will be interesting to see the struggle MM has when they end up recognizing that they have to use Soldier Boy, because he obviously has some history and feels some kind of way about it.
yeah.
With justifiable cause, it appears. The Blue Hawk thing, like, whew, that was tough. It's just been the show has been a wild ride, and kudos to them. I hear they've already confirmed a season 4, and I look forward
which good.
Right. I look forward to all new episodes.
I'm
looking forward to being stressed out every week.
Right. I'm curious, like, what was the scene that made people be like, huh, Homelander's not the good guy?
I'm
I'm
glad you said that, because I almost forgot the thing I was going to say earlier. I'm glad you said that. Oh man, so I'm going through all of these headlines and I'm reading all of these articles while we were talking, and I'm sitting here like, didn't this man in the first season push his son off the top of a roof because he might have powers, and then at the end of that season, did he not jerk off on top of a building?
Yeah.
Was that season 1 or was that season 2?
I think it was season.
No, that
1.
was season 1.
And I'm sitting here like, how could you not feel like he was the bad guy, like, at this point?
No, I think Alex pointed it out pretty earlier, and I'm gonna pull his comment back up. I think the plane crash part
that should have been hint answer 1. Like, what do you mean?
And the whole idea, and it's like, I get now here's the funny part. And again, this is not me like sympathizing with Homelander, but I understand the context of what he was saying. So the idea being that between him and Maeve, he was not able to somebody confirmed that was in fact season 2.
Season 2. Okay.
So he and Maeve they determined and decided like they would not be able to save everyone on the plane. And he had the logical standpoint saying that like if we save anybody, then we have to save everybody. And we can't save everybody, so we can't save anybody. Because no matter who we save, they're going to talk, they're going to tell, and they're going to let it be known that all the other people died. So it would be better if we were never here.
See, now here the point is immediately thrown out the window because Homelander can easily like fly up under that plane and just kind of at least cushion the blow, you know?
And there
Easily.
was now there's I have to go and find that dialogue, but he's basically saying that he can't do that.
Yeah.
No, so
Hold
here
on.
now
Jeff,
I ask you,
Jeff,
is it
I need audio, Jeff.
can't he or won't he?
No, what he said was the plane was moving at such a speed, and with his size, if he tried to stop the plane, he basically would have just gone through the plane like a drill.
Right. Okay. No. And I know he had an explanation for why that wouldn't work.
It's kind of like why Spider-Man has to like dive off of buildings and grab people as opposed to like shooting his web and like grabbing people. R.I.P. Gwen Stacy.
Right. He just waited too late to catch
Right.
him.
And I get that part, but see, logically, he could do it. Not like stopping, like flying out and just like going in front of the plane and stopping it. No, that's ludicrous. That's stupid. But
it's the whole fly under it,
support it, and
from crashing.
You're not necessarily keeping it from crashing.
The
you're
blow
softening the blow.
Yeah.
You don't have to stop the plane. You have to stop it from crashing.
But that would have messed up his hair. He would, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I come back to my earlier
right.
question.
That's a very un-Homelander thing.
Can't do it or he won't do it.
He wouldn't do it because even when he saves people, it has to like look good. You can't be struggling, and then the plane like you cushion the blow, but you under there,
right?
And they trying to roll this plane off of like because he is a Superman parody, but he is not like OP like Superman. I don't think
he is the strongest in his universe.
He is a Viltrumite of the highest order.
No, and that's the funny thing. He's not quite as strong as it would seem.
Because he's not an alien. He's just a person. He's just a lab experiment gone wrong.
You know what? He's as strong as Superboy, not as strong as Superman.
There you go.
And that's how you'd have to look at it. Northup, what were you gonna add?
I was gonna say that like either he doesn't have the powers or doesn't have the control over his powers like Superman does. Like he doesn't know how to not go full bore.
Right.
No, yes, he does. Yes, he does.
No,
and I say that because, like, how many times could he have accidentally killed anybody on the 7? But he only slightly hurts them just so so they can know that he got his hand around their neck. He has he knows how to control his powers.
It is definitely a situation of the world to him is hard-boiled eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing to squish it and crush it, but everything has a certain density and can withstand so much.
Right.
And I think that's how he operates. And of course, now we're talking about, paper worlds, and of course, Superman has a whole conversation at one point where he talks to somebody and he talks about how like everything around him being so fragile and the time it took to learn how hard something could be touched and pressed and not really knowing just how hard he could press something because he's never had an opportunity to press anything. You know what I'm saying? The one time, and of course, everybody likes to use the All-Star Superman image where we see that there's this one weird doctor. He's out in space. They're in gravity, and he's like pushing up against this one machine. You know what? I'm acting like I don't have a comic right here, but but he's pushing up against this one machine, and as a result, there's like some ridiculous amount of weight that he's pressing against. It's like 1 quintillion tons, and he's like, he hasn't even broken a sweat. He's doing it one hand, and he's like, yeah, I feel like I could do more. Like, essentially, he's not even trying, and so his upper limit is like unknown. Homelander has an upper limit, and it's way lower. You know what I'm saying? And so the idea of him being able to be under a plane and fly, because if you think about it, when you think about the feats that we've seen with Homelander, laser eyes is his best power.
Yep.
Most people are vulnerable to the laser eyes, and past that, he doesn't have a lot of hand to hand. And outside of laser eyes, his next best power is the threat. No, the threat of violence. Well, flying, yeah, like everybody wants to fly because no one else actually flies. Yeah, you don't see anybody else fly. I mean, they might like hover.
No, what's her name? I thought what's her name? Stormfront could fly.
Stormfront could use the electricity to move herself around. Yeah, like she could move herself.
Like Magneto.
Special levitation, you know what I'm saying? Like electrical levitation kind of thing. But it's not not
more than I can do, so I'm gonna call it flying.
Oh yeah, it's better than falling with style, don't get me wrong.
In the air.
Right. And I'm not disputing that part, but just to clarify, it's not flight the way Homelander has flight. She can move
static shock without the disc.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
I don't think she would like that comparison.
She would hate that comparison. She would take that comparison very personal.
Yeah, that was some news that people. So it's people who really are watching The Boys the same way that Mother's Milk's ex-wife husband is watching Homelander on TV.
Bingo. Bingo. And did you see his face kind of light up?
Oh my God. Yo, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, you just did it. You just did it.
Like they literally are that guy.
Yo.
Pretty much. There's one of the news articles where they actually talk the news that they have on the background on the screen, on the TV screens and stuff like that. You could actually go to the I want to say Vought has a YouTube channel.
Of course it is.
You can check that out. It has a lot of the news articles, and the ticker that they run across the bottom, they're interviewing somebody that says Home Depot out of tiki torches. So it's just
this is just like a case study for why we need art appreciation in schools. Like, you need to teach people how to like consume media and understand things, just like we teach kids how to read books and understand what's foreshadowing, what's a parody, what's this, what's that. Like, I had very little hope left, and this has extinguished much of that. Because
that was so great, I won't even get into the Spider-Man Lotus then.
Oh yeah,
so I was just reading up on that, and
yeah, we'll save that for another day. I'm gonna let that play out first. I want to see.
Yeah, looks like it is not done. It's not done.
Right. I'm gonna let that play out. We'll come back around and touch on that. David, have you seen Northup? Have you seen the new Lord of the Rings promo?
Yes.
What'd you think of that?
Share with me.
Well.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It just
Somebody's
hit.
in trouble.
Oh, then I probably haven't. I thought you were talking about the show that's going to be coming up.
Right. They've only got like the little teaser clips and stuff like that. They did a special on the I want to say it was like a little special teaser on the orcs. Like the orcs are back or something like that. And they kind of
I have not seen that. I saw the initial trailer about the fact that it was going to be coming out.
Yeah, they've got a new little I want to say it's like a little teaser, behind the scenes documentary kind of. You know how they do the commercials where they take the behind the scene footage?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find that and I'll post it in the comments. But they've got a special on the orcs, so they're about to bring out their next Lord of the Rings story that'll be coming to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I am so ready for that.
We've got some more stuff coming up here in Geek Week. There's something happening. What's the first part of July? There's something coming up. What drops? Oh, Stranger Things season 2, July 2nd, or not season 2, season 4, part 2. Sure, there's some big movies around the corner.
Actually, wait, maybe is it today? Multiverse.
Yeah.
Oh, Doctor Strange is on Disney Plus.
Doctor Strange hits Disney Plus.
Oh shit!
Oh,
yes, sir.
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella.
That's
Ooh.
the one. Umbrella Academy. That dropped today. So we got Umbrella Academy versus the Sparrow Society or the Sparrows.
What is that on?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay, because I know I've watched it, but I couldn't remember, all the freaking streaming services because I've got the Netflix, HBO. I don't have Prime anymore, but apparently I have to get that back.
I was going to say, wait until I'll find the dates in July, but wait and do it when Prime Day hits. That way it's worth doing.
Yeah. So it's like remembering where all this stuff is.
I'm about to just get me a dry erase board and make a little grid and just put everything in and mark when new episodes drop and what day it is, so I know I can just like move my little sliders on. Okay, this is what we got to watch today. That's what we got to watch today.
Well, this is not a Apple friendly space, but the Apple TV has like a nice little setup that does that for most apps. Basically, like if I'm watching like Paramount Plus, like when the new season stuff comes out, it's like the loading screen basically is just like all the stuff that I've been watching across my different apps. New episodes load to the front as I'm watching stuff. If I'm binging a show and I come back, the only one that it doesn't like hook up to is Netflix, but all my like Apple Plus, all my Amazon, Paramount, Disney Plus, all that stuff, Hulu, it all shows up there.
Now, what I do get, and this is probably the closest equivalent to what you're referring to, that seems like it's a little bit more streamlined, but on my home screen, I can actually I can get the Google widget and put the Google widget on my on the home screen of the phone. If I tap the Google widget, it sends me notifications and it checks with me constantly. It's like, do you want us to keep reminding you of this? And it'll tell me when new episodes of the stuff that I'm currently watching. But something like Umbrella Academy, which just dropped, I would have had to set a reminder at some point previously when it told me when that was news.
On this, not for Umbrella Academy because Netflix doesn't connect to it, but for other stuff, when the new season comes out, it's just top of your queue.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's DJ Snacks. He's on with us now. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Google it does that for me. It'll tell me, but I have to go to the widget to get it. Otherwise, it comes through my email, and Lord knows I don't pay attention to all the stuff that comes through my email.
And have we watched Superman and Lois?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Which show?
Superman and Lois. Somebody said that we should watch it.
Yeah, I watched all of season 1, and it is fantastic. It is fantastic. And matter of fact, Jeff, as we were talking about the way
Superman,
No. Not just because I like Superman, because somebody actually took time to kind of understand the character. And they do a much better job. There's a level of this is CW Superman, not comic book Superman, not DCEU Superman, but they clearly paid much more attention to the character. And because it is Superman and Lois, we see Clark, but we understand that Clark is Superman. So even when he's talking as Clark, that's Superman talking, unless he's specifically talking to someone that has to, just interact with Clark. But they've done a much better job, and like they show the balance of his home and family life. It's that first season was great. The only reason I'm not doing season 2 is because they do it weekly, and the CW app makes me watch commercials, and I pay too much money to be sitting through all these damn commercials. So I'm gonna wait till season 2's on HBO Max and watch it there. But I did catch I couldn't help it. There was a big thing that happened in the story with Lana, and I had to see that episode. So I did pull up the CW app and suffer through commercials for that episode, and went exactly like I thought. So liking that. So yeah, I'll be catching up on Superman and Lois season 2 when it hits HBO Max. But
I need WB to figure out what they're gonna do. Like, I need them to figure out what they're gonna do with this TV stuff, man. Like, they got me all hooked on Naomi, then canceled that. They about to try to get me hooked on this new Batman show without Batman after you already canceled another Batman show without Batman.
Right.
Like, I need to know what's going on. Like, I feel like I'm like a woman in a relationship. It's like, what are we? Like, what is it? Because I'm not about to just be coming up in here like every week trying to watch shows, getting invested in characters just for you to cancel the show after one season.
Let me address this real quick. I would have waited for that episode, but a part of that episode got spoiled in a reel, like a Facebook reel or an Instagram reel or something. Somewhere I saw video footage of it, and I was like, "Wait, what? Oh nah." So I had to go and see. I had to get more context to figure out what was what. So yeah, I'll be going back to see that whole season. But yeah, it's my relationship with Warner Brothers is very strained, and I am okay with not having a relationship with them any longer. I can't take the, like you said, the what are we are you the network where I can get my fix or not?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because Marvel over here is showing me some consistent love, and this feels like a toxic relationship. And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, and like with the CW being dead, of course, it's got me concerned because I need y'all to go ahead and move Superman and Lois over to HBO Max. That way I know it's there and we can get these next seasons rolling. But I almost don't even want to get invested in season 2 yet, because if they end up canceling that, I can just like walk away after season 1 and be like, that was good. We straight. And we just go let it be.
I still haven't even watched the finale of Naomi because I know I'm gonna be mad if it's like,
oh, if they don't resolve it,
right? If it's like some
any kind of cliffhanger, I'm gonna tell you the show that messed with me most on that cliffhanger thing was No Ordinary Family.
Amen. Amen.
That hurt me so bad.
They didn't have to do that. You knew you was canceled. Just don't show the little after clip. Kill him on the plane crash.
I'm still mad about this show because, first of all, so for anybody who doesn't remember No Ordinary Family, Michael Chiklis, you know what? Think of live action Incredibles. Think of a live action Incredibles. But you've got.
I'm sorry. You saying that made me think. Is that the one with the hell was that guy's name? It was a big dude, bald head.
Michael Chiklis, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So no Ordinary Family. And matter of fact, for you fans of The Flash, that might even be where you first would have saw Danielle Panabaker.
Sam. for those of us who are slightly younger than our elder geek, she was all over Disney Channel in our heyday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
see,
this is after your Disney years, but she was
Gotcha.
like she was in that pre. It was kind of like between Raven Simone and Hannah Montana, where they were trying to find their next one.
they were kind of looking at the tweens.
Yeah, she was in her because she got a little sister too, and so they were in like a bunch of stuff.
Okay. Well, one of the main things I remember. So it's really crazy. Now you can find the show. I think Apple TV has it, but they don't have it. I mean, it's only like one season, so
Yeah, but it'd be worth watching it again.
don't do it to yourself.
Yeah,
it'll hurt. It'll hurt
because it's like it starts shaky, and so I get why like some people probably didn't watch it, but like it got good, and like right as it got good, it was like goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, it also doesn't help that Stephen Collins was attached to it, so
Yeah.
you know, that doesn't help anything. But they could have. I mean, if you recasted that, it probably would have been okay. I don't think it would have been a major disappointment.
Yeah, just kill him off screen.
Right. You know, but like Romany Malco, I
wanted to see his powers.
Right. I like where they was going with that. You know, another show. Oh man. That makes me think of another one. Alphas.
I don't think I watched that. I think I was gonna watch it, and then people were telling me it was good. Then it got canceled, and I was like, no, can't. Because there was like a year where literally every new show that I watched got canceled, and it was like that show Terra Nova on Fox.
I remember that.
Almost Human.
I remember that.
Minority Report.
You know, I remember Minority Report being a TV show. I didn't do that one.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
Sam might remember this, but the younger folks might not.
Homeboy from the set. Yep, Homeboy from Seven Heaven, Stephen Collins.
But Earth 2.
Now I never heard of that one.
Who was?
Is it a show or a movie?
It was a TV show.
Oh, okay.
And Tim Curry was, or not Tim Curry. I'm trying to think who's the main character in that.
Tim Curry was on that.
He was?
Yeah, because that's when the Earth 2 was one of those, like, we used up all the resources and we have to go find another planet.
Yeah, it was Tim Curry, and he was like putting blood on the leaves and feeding it to those animals.
Yeah. Earth 2 kind of reminded me of like a video game. It plays out much the way you would think of.
The one show that really pissed me off with cliffhanger, even though I binge watched it way after it was over, was Sliders.
Oh.
The way that show ends. Because then I read the fact that like they knew it was going to get canceled, so they made a cliffhanger ending, thinking that was going to like make them have to like come back and finish
inspire.
And it's just like, man, it's like it's one episode less than like what a normal season is too. So like it ends, and then I'm like, all right, well, series finale is the next episode because I'm binging on Netflix. And then it's just like, watch these other things like Sliders. I'm like, whoa. Like, where is episode 22? Like, you telling me this series just literally ends with them looking at a portal, hoping like their friend is coming back through, and we don't find out what happens to nobody. Nah.
I mean, that kind of hits you like the season finale. Like, something like that almost feels like the season finale of The Sopranos. but it's weird because when you talk about season finales, there's some that did really well, and it was like, okay, it's a nice close to the show. I don't know, like I'm trying to think. So something like
Avatar: Last Airbender.
well, there you go. That's probably a perfect series for that. But that's almost a perfect series though. So that one's a little bit more challenging. There's very, very little that you could say is wrong with that show. So right down to their series
Are
finale.
you looking for a bad series finale?
Oh no, there's plenty of those because I mean we could just go with Fireflies or basically any one of these.
Really,
that-
you had to bring up Firefly?
I was about to say any one of these that got canceled and didn't come back. It
What's
didn't
that
know
one,
they weren't coming back.
Dollhouse?
No, but I was thinking like some of those that kind of like they fit in between. It wasn't great, but they wrapped it up, and I feel like Psych did a decent job of like closing out their show. They've come back and done like 2 movies.
Yeah.
But the movies fit as standalone. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't like have to do a movie to answer all these questions or close up the series or anything. Because Serenity, of course, is the answer to Firefly. That's just to try to make. Did you not hear me correctly? It's just to try to make it make sense at the end. First of all, if you hear it part of this group, you already know what Firefly is. It's cool. For those people who may not know, because we might have some new viewers to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. But Firefly was supposed to be, I'll say that it was supposed to be the answer to not having the next season. A show like that just needed to continue. But now, hindsight's 2020. Maybe there were other reasons why they didn't get more seasons. Look at this, you Whedon. And something like Burn Notice.
Damn, everything I had over there?
No, literally, so the cat decided he was going to jump up on the sink, probably because the window in the kitchen is up and he wants to go outside. Yeah, no, he right here. Like, he running from you. He right here. He went upstairs. Did he actually knock the screen out?
No, the window hasn't been up. The window is down.
Oh, okay. So he's just jumping up there because he thought it was up. Well, he looking for you. It's my daughter's cat. It's so funny because she came around one side. He ran up the stairs. It's funny. Anyway, that's the beauty of live shows. No. Her cat. The dog is mine, but the cat is definitely hers. But yeah, Burn Notice. I think Burn Notice was kind of a in between. It had a nice little wrap up, but see that whole last season was garbage. Actually, I stand corrected because I don't like to say that. That whole last season could have been written better, but the lead actor, can't think of his name at the moment, Jeffrey Donovan. Jeffrey Donovan took over as series producer, stayed on for writer, and in those last couple of episodes, I want to say he might have directed those last episodes also. Everybody else was ready to let the show go, and he was like, no, this is paying me really well, and people are watching it. So I get it. But
So he was trying to finish it off before just going
Because he
away.
knew he wasn't going to be able to go nowhere else and be nothing but Burn Notice. Like, he don't walk in nowhere and be like, oh, Jeffrey Donovan. They'll be like, hey, Burn Notice.
right. And seeing, and I'm really happy that when I watched Ballers on HBO to see that Seaford was Gus. Made me happy because Gus was Gus for so long on Psych. To see him do anything else was just refreshing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like there's like, so Jamie Foxx show is my favorite sitcom.
Ooh.
I just watch it all the time. And there's an episode with like Savion Glover, and he comes with like other tap dancers, and one of the tap dancers, Dule Hill, who
How about that?
apparently started on Broadway tap dancing with Savion Glover, and
Who
he
wouldn't
was
know?
very good.
Who wouldn't? Actually, I feel like there's a couple episodes where he's talked about his love of theater on Psych, so that doesn't shock me. Ozarks. You know what? I haven't even finished Ozarks to know that they're. How many seasons do they have? Are they 3 seasons? Just 2?
I don't know. I don't be watching drug stuff.
Ozarks is one I like. I started it and it was good. I enjoyed what I saw, but it was like it didn't grab me. I didn't feel like I needed to go back for the next week to catch that next episode. And I think also it didn't help that I came in after everybody was already like hyping up Ozarks. I hadn't seen it. I was probably going through my second viewing of The Office or some shit. And and so I really, I was kind of behind, so I didn't have nobody to talk to Ozarks with at the time because everybody else was on like another season. But I want to say they've got like 4 seasons of Ozark now, and so now it might be something to kind of go back and catch up on. And it's rated really high. And what I saw from the first season, I kind of enjoyed. But it's like I don't know exactly where we're gonna get to or how we're gonna, it's so much other stuff that I'm sure is coming. I haven't even been able to really wrap up all of season 1. So, and now I'm about to start Star Trek Voyager, so it's just getting pushed further down the list.
Yeah, you can definitely watch Star Trek Voyager instead of Ozark.
So, but see, there'll be people who would like argue for Ozark over. So
that's cool. They're not on this show.
So, let's see. So, Umbrella Academy, I'll be looking forward to that. And since that just started, I can go ahead and add that to my queue if it wasn't already. I guess it couldn't be. No, it should still be in my queue from the last time I watched. So, the previous season would have kept it in the queue, and I would have taken it out. So, I can go ahead and add it in so that the. But yes, Sparrow Academy just dropped. That new movie Spiderhead. There's a Netflix movie. I think this is a Netflix original. I'm not 100% sure, but
with yeah, I heard about that.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes,
that one looks like that's going to be a pretty interesting. It's got a Miles Teller and Chris Hemsworth. He's some kind of medical scientist, and they're doing experiments out on this remote island for people who are supposed to be incarcerated, and this is like an alternative to prison. So, and it's like whatever's happening there is supposedly a big deal. So I've got that. But check that out. And I think that's the only like major stuff that I've had going on lately. That's what I've been trying to watch and keep up on and catch up on. What y'all got happening? What's interesting for y'all?
I just got caught up on Doctor Who.
Which doctor is this? 12th, 13th?
I think this is the 12th. Jodie Whittaker, whichever. I can't keep up with the numbers, but it's Jodie Whittaker still. I'm trying to get caught up before the new doctor, who is a black dude this time.
Okay.
And he's I don't know if anybody has ever watched Sex Education on Netflix.
Yeah, he's the new doctor. Yeah, that guy.
My son was watching that. I kind of.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go for it. He put Eric on Sex Education, and he's like super funny though, and Yeah, it's interesting. Like I'm always all about like the time travel stuff, and I think like what they're doing right now is very interesting to me on Doctor Who, because it is the thing of like, all right, all this crazy stuff has happened, but we're digging into your past, and but we're doing it with like alien species we've already seen, but now we're reimagining them. So there's like all this crazy stuff with like the weeping angels, which I feel like if anybody's seen any episode of Doctor Who, it's Blink.
Blinking, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yep,
So yeah,
I remember. I remember. I can still hear the screams.
yeah. So it's like them, but then like the doctor is trying to find out all this stuff about her past. And I like these companions that they have right now in like Jodie Whittaker's like final season and stuff too. So I feel like the companion is very important. I feel like some companions have gotten bad reps over the years, and others kind of just going off of name or whatever. But it's interesting. I feel like that's a show that brings people back, right? Because like they be bringing people in, and they'd be like, I was just like, who is this? This is like, I'm Catherine Stewart. I'm like, let me Google this. It's like some lady from the show from like 1960, but they brought her in a way where it makes sense. She a grown woman now, and she doing all this stuff for like aliens. And I feel like some of these shows just like don't understand like when you have like lore, how to like work your own lore in to like your own benefit. Like you don't have to be like a prisoner to your lore, and you don't have to completely like ignore your past either. So I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy Doctor Who so much too, because like when people show up, it's gonna make sense. It's not gonna be anybody who you didn't like, and they're not gonna make anybody do anything stupid like kiss somebody who's been trying to kill them for 10 years.
Interesting perspective. Interesting perspective. Now, I'm not. I'm familiar, but it's not a show that I watch. The companions are there because the doctors are basically immortal, and the companion is the person that explains humanity to them.
No, because they've been around humanity more than like any human has. They often are getting like certain things explained to them by the doctor, but I think it's really more like the doctor keeps. So the doctor is kind of like kind of like this intergalactic good Samaritan, but from my perspective, I feel like the doctor always has companions to keep them grounded, so they're not just like changing a bunch of shit that like people don't actually want changed. So she's not just like some time lord dictator where she's just like, I'm showing up and fixing this event, I'm showing up and changing this event. But
It's pretty
like,
much about avoiding the God complex.
yes,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
they are there to like ground her to humanity, because her primary function is like protecting humanity.
Gotcha.
Keeping the balance of the universe and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I think it's the thing with every doctor where they are in a situation where they have to make a choice where it is like, yeah, they could do this thing and it would benefit them, and they are pretty much all for doing that thing, but their companion has to be like, hey, wait a minute, now hold on, now let's think about it like this. And
Yeah.
and they always have to kind of like, you know what, yeah, you're right. So in their own doctor way, because every doctor is wildly different than the other.
Which is
So,
one of the things that I love about Doctor Who, is because they've
So-
always been different. It's like always like each change, it's a completely different personality.
mhm.
So it's
And
like
even when he meets people, it's like you're meeting, even when you meet somebody, like you could be like you're meeting somebody who was the companion of like the sixth doctor, but they're meeting the 12th doctor. It's a completely different like dynamic. Or you have stuff where people like meet people out of order. So like the whole thing with like the doctor's wife is that, like you sometimes like when we meet the doctor's wife, it's like before they're married. Sometimes it's before they even like know who each other are. Sometimes it's after they're married. Sometimes after they're divorced. But this, so, and she kind of is like, I know you're the doctor, but I don't know which one you are. I don't know what you know yet. So I have to be careful about like what I say around you because I don't want to reveal anything. But then there's other times
you'll
where,
fuck something up and destroy the universe or something.
right. But there's other times where like the doctor knows more information. And so the doctor has to be like on his P's and Q's about what he says in front of River Song because
So it's the whole like because it's time travel, it's also the butterfly effect taking place and not messing up the space-time continuum. So,
yeah, because there's some things where you know they they're very clear about like you know some events in time are like fixed.
right.
Yeah.
And like by doing anything to upset them or change them, it would like destroy the fabric of time. Like there are some things that they do affect and some things that they do change on the show, which is what I do like. It's not just like the past museum we can only look but don't touch, but there's certain shit where the doctor is just like we cannot like do anything to like upset this event. I think the one I was thinking about was when like they went to like Pompeii and like I think it was like the companion was like, I warn all these people. Yeah. And they're like, and she's doctor's just like, you can't tell them nothing. And like they're trying to like get around, figure out a way to get around it. And
so it's interesting. That immediately makes me think of those events, those disaster events Loki was talking about from the TVA.
Yeah, it's basically that. I mean, Loki, if we want to really be honest, like a lot of what they was doing in Loki was like just some Doctor Who shit, but with Loki.
Right. The Doctor's an alien, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. And then if you watch this season, more is revealed on that front. But yes, alien, as in not from Earth.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because we are aliens to the Time Lords. Think about that, brother.
It's all about perspective. Okay. So we got a new show for me to watch. We're just about caught up with everything that's out. I've watched most of my season finales. Got 2 new shows to start, so that picked up my queue quick. I would watch a Halo season 2 if they do one.
I would too.
I will absolutely. I gave Halo a lot of shit the whole season, but I couldn't stop watching it.
I mean, the reality is it was good, even though there was some stuff going on where I was like, I don't know what this is, or this is weird. It ended up, I feel like, just being, it was more good than it was bad. And sometimes that's all you can ask for, especially with like video game properties.
Yeah, and honestly, that was the easiest thing for me to do. And I will say, I gave them a lot of shit for taking off the helmet in the first episode. But you know what? It was kind of a ripping of the Band-Aid. We went ahead, did it, got it out the way, and I adjusted to that shit real quick. Because it was like, oh, so y'all just so he's just John. He ain't even Master Chief. He just John. Let's just call it what it is. John.
They wouldn't have been able to tell the story they wanted to tell if, like, because you know it would have leaked, like, oh, Master Chief's helmet comes off on this show. And so now you're just watching, waiting for the helmet to come off. It's like, all right, you want the helmet? It's like Dave Chappelle. Y'all want to see my face?
There you go. And see, and with Halo, it ended up being easier to follow the story that they were telling. And so by having them take the helmet off, like giving you all the shock and awe in the first one, it became less about this being a video game TV show and more about this is a space opera show, you know what I'm saying? Or like just a sci-fi story. I'm not even going to call it a space opera, but just a sci-fi story. And it's an action drama. it had some stuff that I was completely unfamiliar with. And for everybody who was like, "Well, just go back and play the game," nah, bro, I done played all them games. I still don't know what the hell was going on. They used they
Yeah,
used names.
That Cortana stuff was weird, bro. I was just like, I was watching that, like, I guess this from the game, but like, you implanted a clone person brain inside this man consciousness. If I'm understanding Cortana correctly, and if I'm not, it's because that shit too complicated to understand.
Well, here's the thing. They touch on parts of like the Cortana parts. They cherry picked the stuff that was going to work for the story they were telling. All of it is not. You know what? It goes back to what I was saying one time before. This says based on the game Halo. This does
This is
not
not the
say
game Halo.
right. This is not the Halo TV show. This is a TV show called Halo that is based on the game. And that word based on, they have a lot of freedom to do what they want to do when something is based on something else. They don't have to go very specific. They don't have to do what you think they should do or what you want them to do. They can do what they choose. And that's what they did. And at the end of the day, it was cool. I did enjoy it, and it made for a damn good show. 7 out of 10 would watch again. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So like I said, if they have another season, I would totally check it out. I look forward to it. It was enjoyable show. I liked some of the character casting they did. I want more of young Miranda. Thought she was a joy, and I like seeing her finally kind of get her due.
That lady, that one lady, what's the lady name? The doctor. She's a menace. She got to be stopped.
Dr. Halsey.
Yeah, she's like she's playing a crazy doctor in a way that I've never really experienced before, because I have to keep reminding myself that this is what this lady is doing is crazy and like psychopathic. Like she'd be like, yes, I'm doing this for all of humanity. It's like, yeah, but you like kidnap people's kids and then sent them a clone that you knew was gonna like disintegrate and die within like a year, and like basically put all these people through unnecessary grief for like your idea of the future of the human race. Like, you're like a very, very trash person.
Mm.
I mean, there's no doubt that she's a trash person. I kind of appreciated that she was like, without fail, committed to what she thought was the greater good.
Yeah, but she's a robot now. She's lost her humanity. See what I'm saying? The doctor becomes the monster.
Oh, most definitely. But see, I think that was, in a sense, I think that's what was supposed to happen, because when you look at even the little bit of a character arc that Cortana herself had, you know what I'm saying?
But we got to be careful, because obviously people are not understanding the reading. if we're learning anything from the boys, it's like, I don't think we are reading for comprehension anymore.
Nah, we reading for completion.
There you go.
It's like your summer reading log. All I got to do is get enough checks and initials so I can get my free pizza. I couldn't tell you about name one of the books that I read. But I get my free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut at the end of the summer. Crazy part was I remember all those books I read, but we different breed. All right, Heroic Cat, talk to me. What's happening gaming right now? Anything cool? Anything new?
Oh, man. Oh, there's a lot going on. You want good? You want bad? You want fucked up? What you want?
Let's just keep it good for now, because
Good for now. Okay, yeah, I got you.
it's always something fucked up in gaming, and
It's
if we
always
don't
something
if we don't start that at the beginning, sometimes it gets
yeah,
missed.
true. Actually, I do have something good, and that kind of ties in with my announcement. Hey, all right, cool. So bet. All right. So today is what, the 22nd?
Second,
22nd, right. All right.
For about
So
2 more minutes.
for
she's very helpful, but
Yes.
still, thank you.
Yes. All right. So yeah, on the 28th, a game is coming out, a fighting game by the name of DNF Duel.
DNF Duel.
Yes, if you are familiar with Dungeon Fighter Online, that but fighting games. So it's been on the radar for a while. Everybody's pretty excited about it. This is supposed to be the Guilty Gear Strive killer. I doubt it, but it still looks like it's fun. And I say that to say this: I have been invited to participate in a fundraising tournament on TikTok.
What?
Yeah, so me and about 15 other people are going to be fighting in this game on July 10th. Yeah, July 10th. Yeah. And it's gonna be a grand old thing, but instead of prize money for the winner and all that stuff, we're gonna be fighting to raise money for charity. So all proceeds are gonna go towards the National LGBT Cancer Network.
Okay.
And that's what the hashtag on TikTok right now is, hashtag dueling cancer. So if you want to know more information about that, whatever I don't cover here is going to be on that hashtag. So, keep that in mind.
You say dueling cancer on
yeah.
TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, my boy Phil, of course, is putting everything together. He's doing a great job. It's going to be great. Lots of threats on that docket. It's gonna be great. I'm hoping to not go 0-2 like I did with the Skullgirls tournament, because I had basically 2 weeks to learn that game. But it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be great. Lots of action. There's a bunch of incentives overall for the whole FGC TikTok crew. So if you donate a certain amount of money, stuff will happen. Like we just hit 500. And that means that one of my other friends over there, Puffer McSparkleface, has to learn Steve in Smash. And he hates that. But it's for a good cause. So he has to learn how to play Steve in Smash.
There you go. Now,
Mr.
who is your main in Smash?
My main in Smash is Bowser.
Bowser.
Yes.
All right, so you're going for a heavy there.
Yeah, Bowser and the Dragon Quest hero if I'm feeling spicy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is that Minecraft Steve he has to learn?
He has to learn Minecraft Steve. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. He absolutely hates the character, but he doesn't have a choice because people actually donated money, so now he has to learn it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't have any incentives myself yet. I'm still working on a list, but it's coming. I'm gonna be trying to stream for the next few weeks and see if I can raise some money on my end here.
Now, when does DNF Duel release?
DNF Duel comes out on the 28th of this month.
28th of this month.
Yes.
And
so that's next Tuesday? Yeah, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. And when does the tournament take place?
July 10th.
July 10th.
Yes.
All right.
So again, basically, I got 2 weeks to learn the game.
Okay.
That's better than 2 days.
Better than 2 days. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I've been keeping my eye on in this game for a long time, and I got to play one beta, and it's fun. It's fun. I just can't wait to get my hands on it and actually get a training mode, because they did not give a training mode in that last beta. I don't know why, but hey, yeah. But yeah, so that's what's going on, at least on my end here. Other good news. Nintendo dropped a Nintendo Direct for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That game looks really, really good. I'm probably not going to play it, but it looks good.
Okay.
I've never been a Xenoblade fan. It takes too long to get started for me, you know. But other people like it, and if they like it, I love it. So, you know, it is what it is. Street Fighter 6 is still looking everything they talk about Street Fighter 6, it's looking better and better. And this is the first time I've been excited for a Street Fighter game in a long time. So yeah, it's good. It's looking really good. Ryu has shoes now. Chun-Li retired from the police force and is a martial arts teacher. Ken is
divorced.
Ken is divorced, and they took the fucking kids. Ryu. Guile's looking really good. He has eyebrows now.
What?
Yeah, and his super is very disrespectful. He hits you with a sonic boom. He launches you in the air, hits you with another sonic boom, and he hits you with a flash kick, launches you in the air, hits you with a sonic boom, jumps up, steps on your chest, and then hits you with another flash kick. The most disrespectful special I've seen in fighting games in recent history.
Wow.
It's very disrespectful. Everything in that game is looking really good. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Do we have a release date for
it's gonna
Street
be
Fighter 6?
It's gonna be sometime next year. We don't have a concrete release date just yet. But
so right now, that's just the announced trailer.
Yes.
Okay.
Announced trailer. They announced.
I know a lot of stuff has kind of been leaked. So I don't know.
Damn near everything's been leaked.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how much of that is official at this point, but it's just like it's all out there. So
damn near everything got leaked, man. Looks like Akuma is going to be in the game, even though like story-wise it kind of doesn't make sense because Ryu has apparently mastered and gotten over the Satsui no Hado, so Akuma shouldn't really be on his ass anymore. But it is what it is.
But I guess if Akuma is still around, he can show up at any point.
Yeah, he can show up at any point. Honestly, I think that's going to be like it's going to play into Ken's thing. So maybe Ken might be doing a Satsui no Hado thing. Maybe we'll get Violent Ken again.
Ooh,
maybe.
He was a fun character and really fast. So
yeah, that would be sick. Let's see what else we got here. There's a giant Italian wrestler woman, and she's gonna be great. I can't wait.
All the large women in Street Fighter are always enjoyable.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, all the characters they've shown so far, all the new characters, aside from Luke, look really, really good. I'm just biased because Luke looks like the most cis white man I've ever seen in my life. Like
you got no flavor.
No flavor. That is the most unseasoned chicken I've ever seen in my life. Like you look at his profile, he is a contractor for a PWC. PWC is that, if I'm doing it right, a private military company. I think that's what it is.
PMC, private military contract.
Yeah, there is PMC. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
PWC would be a university.
There you go. Thank you. Yes, and yeah, his likes are funky t-shirts in streaming. Yeah, no, he's the most cis white male. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm feeling a little like I got 3 t-shirts over there. I was trying to decide which shirt I was gonna wear. I'm feeling some kind of way about that. I need him to do better.
That is the most cis white male to ever cis white male. Yeah. Jamie is a Drunken Fist practitioner, student of Yin and Yang, if you are familiar. Okay. The best thing that they could have done for that character. His fit is crazy, and his mechanic is that he drinks and he gets better moves the more drunk he is.
Okay, we get a full-on Jackie Chan this time.
Yes, it is good stuff. I can't wait to play Jamie. He's great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep singing Street Fighter 6 praises until the game comes out, and then I'll get my hands on it and I'll sing more praises.
Cool.
Yeah, it's looking real good, man. It's looking real good.
That works.
Yeah.
Now keep it easy. We're not gonna do a fucked up, but give me one bad. What's one gaming bad right now?
Ooh, okay, all right, cool. I'll give you one, and it kind of ties in with a fucked up too. So, if you unless you've been living under a rock for like the past year, you would know that Activision Blizzard
I
is
knew it was gonna be.
yeah. Activision Blizzard's been in some
else they
trouble
got?
lately. Yeah. So you like just to keep it brief, you kind of like there's a laundry list of things they've been accused of: the Cosby Room, several counts of sexual, physical, and mental abuse, stuff like that. But do not worry, because like Activision Blizzard had another investigation done on the whole company, and they found that there was no wrongdoing within the company. Yeah, they found that there was no wrongdoing in the company. You know who Activision Blizzard got to do the investigation?
Activision Blizzard.
Sam, how'd you know?
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so that's the bad and fucked up. Activision Blizzard has cleared themselves of wrongdoing. Ain't that some shit?
Like, if you gonna sweep something under the rug, you got to pay off somebody else to sweep it under the rug. You can't walk up and sweep your own mess under the rug and be like, "Ain't no
they
mess."
swept the shit under the rug, except the rug was made of fucking plastic wrap.
Like, you see that mess right there? We looking at it.
We can still see
it's
the
right
shit.
there.
Like, and it's making it's fucking me up because, like, damn it, I want to play Overwatch 2 a little bit and trash on the game, but I don't feel like morally I don't feel right playing Overwatch 2. Motherfuckers. Like,
They got to do better.
get your shit together. Oh, the other bad thing. Yeah, so it looks like Bobby Kotick is still going to be in charge because, that's a thing, of course.
I mean, when the home team is the one doing all the investigating, you get to, when you write the book, you get to write the rules.
You get to do whatever you want, I guess. Sure. Let me get off the bad and fucked up because I can rant about that shit for hours. Good stuff. Well, no, fucked up stuff. Last of Us 2 is still that wasn't the fever dream I have. Last of Us is getting a remake for some reason. I don't know why.
I mean, with the exception, like I could almost understand if you want to re-release it because you're putting it on a new game engine, you're updating some graphics, and it's now something exclusive for the PS5. Even then, it needs to be like a pet project, just because, not your major game launch.
Yeah.
Don't present it or promote it as if you're doing something by re-releasing a game that's already a greatest hit.
Like you're doing us a favor.
Like once it hits greatest hit status, you know what I'm saying? Like that already says it's hit all the markers and sold. What is it? It used to be like a sold 1 million copies, it becomes the greatest hits.
Right.
So once you're greatest hits and you've already been re-released before, re-releasing as as an exclusive platform title, it's already kind of weak sauce. But if you're going to do it under the same game engine and just improve the graphics, I should already see that if I play the current Last of Us on a PS5. It should already render up, and look better. So
yeah, there's that.
Kind of pointless, but oh well, maybe somebody will be introduced for the first time.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think Linda made a good point when she was talking about something like Uncharted, with the recent release of the Uncharted movie, which I still have yet to see. But with the Uncharted movie having just come out, having the Uncharted game, remastering that, given that its origins are PlayStation 3, it didn't even have the updated PS4 engine or PS4 graphics.
Yeah,
even if that was the title that you were going to do, you could at least justify it as a tie-in to the movie.
Yeah. So there's that. Oh, also, go ahead, finish your.
I was about to say, and then when people actually have PS5s, then you come back and you release Last of Us Remaster bundled with the PS5 as a free game giveaway, because it's something you've been doing as a pet project and you really wanted people to see this fantastic game on the PS5. That's how you release it.
Yeah. Okay, so back to good stuff. Mileage will vary depending on what you like. First thing that I got, Fall Guys went free to play today, apparently.
You know what? I actually had a notification on that. It was like, "Hey, get Fall Guys free." I
Yep.
was like,
And
"Okay,
it's like it's at least on PC it is a Epic Game Store exclusive, and apparently they're having trouble with the servers because the player count had skyrocketed way more than they had expected. So it's doing real good. So good on them. Fall Guys is fun. I downloaded it not too long ago, and I'm probably going to play it tomorrow. Start playing it again. Also, if you missed it the first time, and you really got to get your fix, Fortnite and Naruto are doing their collaboration again. So, while the old skins of Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi are coming back, you can also get Itachi, Hinata, Gaara, and Orochimaru. And if you do some in-game, I think it's some in-game quests or whatever, you can get yourself a good little glider and some stuff too before they come out. So that's coming out
ooh, you know
soon.
what'd be really cool? Have like a Nine Tails glider."
They actually have a Ninetales glider.
Yeah.
It was with the old collaboration. I think that's coming back as well. So
Okay.
if you really want to do that, get on that. I'm probably going to be doing that after I get off the call.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what? Thanks for checking in on gaming. We'll have to get together real soon and talk some anime. It may just be
Yes.
a one-off, and we'll just do an anime spotlight.
Real
'Cause,
quick, are you caught up on Spy Family?
Yes.
God damn.
That's why I'm like,
that
we can't
boy,
even, we can't even get
that man.
yo.
Anyway, I'm gonna take it because I'm pretty sure other people got other stuff to talk about.
So I was just talking about Uncharted. Northam, did you see Uncharted?
I have not seen it yet, but I looked up to verify. July 15th, Netflix.
Okay.
Really?
That's
All
what's
right.
up.
Let me go ahead and put that on the calendar real quick.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I heard you say that, and I was like, you said
Okay.
you hadn't seen it. I'm like, let me double check because I think it's coming out in like 2 weeks. And yeah, July 15th, it'll be on Netflix. So, because I was going to buy it, but then I'm like, no. I already paid for Netflix. I don't need to own that. Though, if it's as good as I think it's going to be, I'm going to buy it.
I will look for, you know what? We will come back on shortly after the 15th, and maybe we will discuss, depending on what day the 15th falls on, we might be able to do a full review.
Let's see. 15th falls on a
Friday. So yeah, that might be something we can do for the weekend.
I'll be at work on the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th because my job sucks.
That's right. That's that weekend schedule. Well, we could probably save it around for like that Monday or something. I don't know if it makes it to that Wednesday and we talked about it. I don't know if I will. Like, it depends on how good it is. But following the 15th, we might be able to come back and we'll discuss and re-review Uncharted, since that is looking to drop. I'm curious. I kind of wanted to see it when it was in theaters, just because I feel like that might have been one of the movies that might have benefited from the spectacle of the theater, but it's had such interesting reviews. So it's kind of had me like, but
Well,
that is
at the same time, they've done with some video games that have been turned into movies. They did a good job. With
right.
others, they missed it by that much.
Yeah. And then you have some that are just like
so horrible.
Right. What did they even try to? Oh, is that Michael? He's asking. I'm sorry. I've been kind of watching over here in the corner of my eye. I've been watching this DNF fighting, and like, this DNF duel tournament. I like some of these characters.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, the characters are sick, man.
I'm liking some of these characters. I'm liking Striker. Dragon Knight seems pretty cool. And I don't know I didn't see the name on that one, but I guess it's like the gunslinger character.
The male or female?
Male.
Oh,
Big
that's
red hat.
Ranger.
Ranger. Okay. That seems like the first three characters I would attempt to play, just at a glance. But he's asking, what did he miss? Well, you'll have to go back and watch. But no, we jumped into some gaming content and we discussed some of the stuff that was taking place with Blizzard Activision, because Blizzard Activision. We talked about Street Fighter 6, all the goodness that's coming with that. And be sure to check. You know what? I'm going to bring up the hashtag again because it's there. Dueling Cancer Heroic Hat will be part of a tournament for DNF Duel. And that is DNF Duel Tournament. No, what's the new game called?
It's the DNF Duel. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, DNF Duel. That's that tournament's going down on July 10th. It will be going down on my friend Phil, of course's Twitch channel, but I will also be restreaming it on my channel, hosting it on my channel as well. So you can watch it there, or you can watch it on his channel, however you want to do it. And also, please donate, because the goal is $20,000, and any little bit helps. So yeah.
Cool. So that's the most of what you missed. And then of course that segued into Uncharted, because we were talking about the remake for Last of Us. And I was saying that Uncharted having just been released, that would have made more sense to do as a remaster, or as a remake, to update with the graphics and such. Northup, you got anything else? What you been watching?
Well, the most recent movie I watched was Secrets of Dumbledore, which I was not sure about that.
After watching Secrets of Dumbledore, I have to go and watch The Crimes of Grindelwald. I don't know that I'm going to try to suffer through Fantastic Beasts again, but I do at least want to get a little bit more context for Grindelwald. Because I've enjoyed that. I really like that Secrets of Dumbledore. What'd you think of it?
It wasn't horrible.
Always a good start.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. I was not a fan of the change of character. I did not like. Oh, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but I did not like. I didn't like the guy they picked for Grindelwald.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I
think he's a fantastic actor. Was he just not right for this role?
or
is it just because he was following Johnny Depp?
I did not like him in that role. It didn't seem like a fit for me. But it could also be because of the fact that I'm pissed off that it wasn't Johnny Depp. But I always try and go into stuff like that not with a mindset of, okay, I'm already going to hate this person because it's not that person.
Right.
Like, I went into, and this goes back to a movie that is like forever old, but I tried to go into Reacher not with the mindset of that should not be the Reacher character. And yeah. So I try to not preset my expectations.
Well, Tom Cruise definitely wasn't the look of the character Reacher, but I feel like now I haven't read all the books. I'm still working on my one. Actually, I need to start my one. Let me not say it like that. Like I'm halfway through. No, I ain't even cracked the book open yet. But my understanding of the character Reach, what I'm saying, having watched the new series, and that series was on Amazon Prime with Alan Rickman, that everybody seemed to be, the general consensus was like, yes, this is what Reacher looks like. That's what it's supposed to be. And Reacher being the beast of a person that he is, you need somebody that's big and large and swole like that. And we don't have that out of Tom Cruise. We have Ethan Hunt with no rules. I mean, I like the Mission Impossible movies, so that's not as much an insult as it sounds. But it's like, you know, there's a certain methodology and there's a certain character feel that came with that. So I can understand if the portrayal of the character based on the book, Johnny Depp fit that character better. If it was just Johnny Depp being one of those zany, wacky Johnny Depp characters that he likes to do, and that's what Grindelwald was, and then we come in with the much more reserved Mads Mikkelsen, I could definitely see how that's going to be a little jarring. And I didn't see anything. Of course, I wouldn't have had context to see it, but I didn't see anything that explained or justified the change in character. So if you go from movie A to movie B and you got the same person who looks like two different people because it was, you know, it was two different actors, I could definitely say that that's going to be a problem.
No, at the same time, technically, Grindelwald's been three different people. He's been played by three different actors.
So we got two: Mads Mikkelsen, Johnny Depp. Who's the third?
And in the
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts, it was what was his name? Dang it.
I got it.
I could have, you know, if I hadn't tried talking about this, I'd have known. But because he played a different character, but it was just Grindelwald disguised as someone else. So technically, he's been played by three different characters, or by three different actors.
It's almost like, does that really count? I guess technically it would have to count. Yeah,
because it was Grindelwald pretending to be that other person.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's some questions I had, but like nothing that really took away from the movie itself. But just some things like from reading the original books and seeing the original movies and learning about the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, I knew it was a close relationship. I didn't realize it was that close of a relationship.
Well, see, everything that I picked up, and I had my son kind of explaining everything to me, and I didn't want to ruin the movie viewing experience for him by constantly being like, okay, who is that? Okay, who is this? Okay, what did that? And it's funny because it's like I was able to like enjoy. I've struggled, like I haven't watched all of the Harry Potter movies. That is my.
Uh-oh. She giving you the evil eye, Sam.
That's quite all right. I'm sure I could name I'm sure there's some stuff I've watched she hadn't seen all of. But you know, and that's honestly, that's my geek confession. And I will say it's in contrast as I watched as I watched this movie, I saw a lot of magic. I saw a lot of magic being done. I saw wizards and witches and sorcerers casting spells and battling and doing magic. And in Harry Potter, you know, these are kids who are just learning how to use their magic. So it's not as much magic. And as you get towards the end of the series, you know, then you start to like really see some magic take place and people know some spells and they can do some things. I done had to go through 8 movies before I get to like see magic. That was just tough for me.
I do agree that with these movies, there's a lot more of the visual aspect of what magic is than there ever was in any of the other Harry Potter movies. But if you look at it, it's like one of them you've got a bunch of adults, the other you've got a bunch of kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, I totally get it, and I would say that as we watch the kids become adults, we start to, like I said, that's where we start to see the transition, and we get some magic because the only thing I know is Leviosa, you know what I'm saying? And I know expensive petroleum, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the only ones that I know. But I do know that some phones you can say like what? Luminos or Luminoso?
Lumos? I don't know.
Luminos?
Okay, Google. Lumos.
There you go. That's the one.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, there's obviously a thing there, and there's clearly a fandom base. And I'm not saying it like, man, Harry Potter and all them movies suck. It was just something that it dragged to me, and so of course I just kind of like I'll get to it. And time passed, and before long, I realized that like all the movies had come out, and I hadn't seen them all.
Which you never read the books,
Didn't
correct?
read the books.
See, and that's where, for me, I read the books, and then the movies were coming out, and I had to watch them. And there was that anticipation that I had with those, even though I was in my 20s when the movies were coming out. It was like, yeah, they're supposed to be kids' movies, but shoot, I'm lining up to go see them because I read the book. I want to see how bad they screw it up. Or, I mean, I want to see how good of a job they did turning the book into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime they have an adaptation that works or they do a good job adapting, that's always a plus. Because I'm a huge Robert Ludlum fan, and I've read probably 13 different Bourne books. So Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity, and that series. That trilogy of movies is such a loose adaptation from the books that I can't even say the book is better. They're different. So it's not so much that the book is better. The movies are fine as movies, and Matt Damon as, a Wing Chun master and a spy, and cool. I'm with it. But when you read the book, it's a totally different story that takes place. Even the point of the story is different. And when you get around to something like the Harry Potter movies, where you actually have a whole series of books, and then you make these movies, how closely, and this is where we get into the gray area, but how closely maybe the writers involved and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it starts to get weird. But if you have a good story, that we'll just let it stand on its own merit. But if you have a good story and the story is done well, you get the right director to bring that story to life, it works out. And honestly, from what I can see, Chris Columbus has done it is Chris Columbus on those, right? He's the director for those movies.
No, he was the director for the first two, and it's because I think it was him that started the series. But as the movies got darker, the directors kept changing to better fit the theme of the movie.
Well, I'm feeling like, what little I do know, because I have seen the first two.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like Chris Columbus is good when it comes to, I can't really say directing kids' movies, but he seems to have a certain niche for making movies involving children. And I'm going to just let that be. But Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, um, like all of those movies, Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief.
Mhm.
Let's take it way back. Gremlins. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I think that I probably could have gotten more into it if I can't even say that would have made a difference for me. Like if it had been like, oh well, if he had done all the movies, I'm not gonna say that because that's cap for real. Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. I've seen both of those. I'm familiar with the Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't think I've actually sat through the whole thing, but I've watched a good bit of it. You know what I'm saying? And all of those movies, I was kind of good. And after that, that's where just like I just either completely lost interest, just couldn't do it any longer. So maybe I needed to read the books and then I would have some context and be like, oh, I have to be part of this and go your route. So well, you know what? Maybe we'll marathon it. I'll see about getting if somebody want to gives me like some Audible gift cards. I'll just get all the Harry Potter books and let somebody read them to me.
There you go.
I do a lot of driving, so I can make it work like that. All right. Anybody got anything else?
Spy Family is getting the season 2. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Because I that makes me happy. That does. Just because I want to go play dodgeball now. Everything about that show is so good. It's so wholesome.
Anya deserves the world.
Right. It's such a wholesome little show.
But again, I'm not going to get too much into it because I know we're just kind of.
Yeah. We'll talk about it separately. We'll talk about it. And you know what? I might even get caught up with Shield Hero before the week is out.
It's good. It's good stuff.
It's just been busy, man. 6-day work weeks. This is 3 weeks in a row. It's been a 6-day work week. So
yeah, I feel that.
But hey, good things coming, and that's gonna be that. So we gonna go ahead and if nobody's got anything else, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show. I appreciate all y'all being on here with me tonight because I just like to run my mouth and talk geek, and that's what we do. Weigh in Wednesdays. Jeff, appreciate you being on tonight, man. We got to wrap real soon and figure out if you let me know when you want to do that Star Trek. I got some people be on that Star Trek show for you. That was not hard at all. We will make that.
I got you. I'll let you know for sure.
Okay, cool. Northup, appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on. It's a pleasure as always. David, tell Linda I said what's up. And
Will do.
When I get some free, the next time I have an off day, I'm gonna like sit with Linda. We're gonna play something and stream something. Whatever game she chooses she wants to play, I will sit and play a game with her and we'll just stream something. So it'll be her pick. We'll simulcast the stream.
There you go.
And I know her schedule, like she was telling me her schedule changed, so we have to figure out how that works and when it works. And so maybe we can stream something midday. And we'll post it up and have it replay for that evening. But ain't nobody else got anything else, man. I look forward to a new episode of The Boys. Be sure to check out Umbrella Academy. I'm sure we'll be talking about Umbrella Academy next week. So everybody set your calendars. Every Wednesday, most times at 9:05. I think today was the first time I didn't actually launch at 9:05. But I had class, and class ran a little long. So
it just be like that.
It'd be like that. Life happens. But we want to thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Find us on YouTube, grownageeks.com. We're also on Facebook. Eventually, I'll get us on Instagram properly. We're there, but it's slow content. I need to make some more posts. But for Jeffrey, David, and David, I'm Sam. We're Grown A Geeks, and we are out of here. Peace.